Hi, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful morning. It is November 21st, 2025. Yesterday was absolutely historic, like literally. You don't see those types of swings every day. And usually you got a solid reason. And a lot of people going back and forth, but then you got a little relief today with Mr. Fed Williams, the vice chair, saying that he is open to that December cut. So we've talked about this little game of chicken between the Fed and Trump, but that was one of those little parachutes. I thought Powell would have pulled it, or maybe the admin would have pulled it. There might be a little bit more, but that gave you a little bit of relief. Now, here's the problem. You're not getting any panic open. You're at least a little bit higher. Gold is still down. That one's barely. It wants to go green. And then Bitcoin is still off by 3%. And just like I'm saying, yesterday, you couldn't really put your finger on it. I mean, you had good earnings. You had good news. Even a couple of Fed people like Moran came on today saying it was obviously dovish and all these things, but at the same time, a lot could either be swirling, and usually if you drop like this without anything, it's usually bullish. So we're going to find out how it all plays, but I would definitely keep your head on a swivel. We've talked a lot about Chop City and 2018 and a lot of other factors, so I would be ready for anything, and it's probably going to be exciting. And the market's going crazy. I know. I smiled when I got to type that title out. And you know that? I was smiling when I hope you smiled too. Some of you may not even understand that one. The market is going crazy. So Chattadonia, I hope you're ready. I hope you are locked and loaded. I hope you're blessed, but you know what's going to happen, right? Before we do anything here, before we try to chase a dollar, before we try to enrich ourselves, we must pay homage to a very special group of people that has made a sacrifice that most of us never have and ever will. And I am talking about the veterans of the United States of America. So on behalf of the cult, I want to give a huge special shout out, active servicemen, past service, anybody who has served this great country. Thank you for everything you have given up for all of our freedom, and I hope all of you who bask in the freedom could take a second to appreciate it, especially, where'd my flag go? Especially if you didn't have a personal hand in it. Now, everybody plays their role in many, many ways, but I do think it's very special, the commitment that everybody in service has given, even the families. They have made a lot of sacrifices, so we want to give y'all a huge shout out, and I hope we could actually make some real changes, and I hope all of y'all could make some real noise. And at the very least, I do think we could start here. You could start here with 10%. You could start here staying out of bad financial investments, and you could start here owning the land and many other good quality things. And I do hope we could help with that, because if anybody deserves it, man, I do think it is y'all, and I think you're trained for it. Discipline, value, appreciation. Are these trading concepts or what? Oh yeah, long term. So God bless all of you, man, for real, and thank you all, and I do hope all of y'all can show that love, whether or not you have served, and big shout out to everybody else out there giving back to their local communities, doctors, nurses, teachers, firefighters, police officers, the janitors, the coaches, the garbage men, everybody making their communities run, baby. God bless you and thank you, but ladies and gentlemen, please rise up. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Son of a bitch! Oh, it's game time, baby. Or not. Oh, yeah, happy Thanksgiving, too. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You guys, there's only a month left. Oh, you know that. Oh. And if you don't know, public service announcement. Please, I'm grateful that you're listening right now, especially if you're here right now. Because, I don't know, but it says, it's flashing in red on my news wire. It says, today is going to be a great day. So I hope you claim that. And if you fight in that, right, if I say that and you like, no, it's not, just go back to bed, dude. Go back to bed. So good morning. And let's have a good one, Chad. Again, it's going to be pretty interesting here off the open, because I think most people thought we would have had a little panic open. But, yeah, I think it's going to play out a little differently. So other than that, I do have a couple of plays. I'll be watching NVRI, Procter & Gamble, Walmart, Nvidia, Dillard's, McDonald's, and Ross. I think Ross was one of the other earnings. McDonald's is coming out with the Grinch meal, and then their staple / value. Dillard's has a special dividend. Nvidia post earnings. Procter & Gamble, Walmart, they were the ones that held up yesterday, and then NVRI. They sold off a unit, I believe, worth more than their entire value. So yeah, let's have a good one. Shineboss says USMCA review to provide more certainty on investment. Yeah, and please do not post your plays, only information. If you want to influence other people, you could go somewhere else, because we're not going to vibe with that. And other than that, baby, oh, there it is. Round 1. Fight. All right, I know Eli Lilly did move. Again, that one, man, I feel like all month. And the volatility. Why so slow? Habibi, why they move it so slow? Yeah, they held up really good yesterday. And then see Walmart again. Walmart's move was literally 7%. So that was kind of nuts. And then let's see. Let's see how high they taken it. Again, remember the premiums yesterday, the skew did go up, but like we were talking about, there's going to be some panic, then those are cheap. But otherwise, if it's a slow move in either direction, I don't think that's going to be fun. That's where, like we said, that's where the premiums could really get clobbered. So I do think some people got to watch out for that. And we will see how it all plays out, my friend. Open. I saw the SPY on the high. Netflix is moving. There's something on the WBD bid as well. I think they gave a non-binding offer for only like part of it. So you're probably going to get another headline on that. You've been getting one every single day. So we will see. Nvidia, Oracle. That's that. Yeah, I turned off DVR. My bad. My bad, brethren. I feel like I'm doing it too early. I'm getting rid of some of the free ones from yesterday. Some of the free downside plays still have value. But Nvidia is about to go red, so be mindful of that. And then a couple are already opening up red. Yeah, those Broadcoms are doing good. That's why I got rid of them. And then watch any of the big gainers. There's some with just a very wide range. Do these fill? I don't know. The spreads are wild. I'm going to put in some orders. Widespread, if they fill you, man, very good, Habibi. Very, very good. Yeah, the Grinch meal from McDonald's. I've never heard of it in my life. Have you? Is that like common? Have you heard of a Grinch meal? Yeah, Oracle got knocked. They weren't doing too bad. Again, even Broadcom, but then they're going green. That's why I want to get rid of that one. And then Nvidia actually just went red there. The only problem today is Bitcoin. That's the thing, because people are feeling good. You're holding up the 0.5%. Looks like Russell's 0.2. My Dow's not loading up. But yeah, pretty much Bitcoin is still down. It was down 3%. Down 2.3. It's coming up a little bit. There's Nvidia on the low, but it's still dancing around. Again, 180 is a pretty big deal, I think, for a lot of people. I think that's one of their technicals or something, but there's been a lot of clamoring around there. Filling closer to the bid is a sign of liquidity. Reverse, ask. Because again, if it's filling, the bid is usually going to be a lot lower. That's like the lowest. That's like the low ball offer in a weird way. So if it could fill you higher, that's kind of a better sign of either demand or liquidity. What's the NVO? Eli Lilly. Okay, and then where's Dillard's? So again, this one has a $30 special dividend. It's not React, but then again, it's a $600 stock. But that's still not bad. That's like, what, 5% special dividend? All right, well, Broadcom's still going. If that bounces, I think you could double dip on that one, but I would secure whatever for now. My shit's kind of slow on the load. Where's Hershey's? Hershey's, Procter Gambling. Who's the other one? TJX. And then Ross had earnings. They did good. That one's already up 5. So I thought that one was going to lag a little bit. That's already moved 2 off the open. That one has wide spreads, but there's actually trades on it. Interesting. Yeah, that was really wide. And then remember the timing on the Decembers, and then this isn't, you better pray it don't do nothing like yesterday. Because remember, yesterday we did nothing in that first hour, but now after a drop like that, like we're talking about velocity and then think on the way up, it's going to be, the slower it moves on the way up, this is how the good calls or any calls that didn't get clobbered yesterday, that's how they're going to pretty much get washed. Oh, I think Jack in the Box had earnings. Airlines on the high. Again, Coca-Cola. Remember even Pepsi yesterday as well. They had a little bit of a sell-off at the close, but they actually did pretty good. BB. Yeah, honestly, anything with time, the spreads are pretty shitty. So watch too. Then in that case, I don't think you have to go too early. If we're gonna move too slow and there's a play that you like, I would kind of get an idea of the play you'd want, and then see. Because if it's an upside play and if it starts melting up, you'll probably notice those won't move as much. I'm telling you, most of these spreads, I've just checked 3-4 different companies. The spreads are borderline 100%. So it's kind of odd. Yeah, and then Nvidia is already flushing now. They're down 1.5. So what the hell is holding you up? Apple's up by 0.2. Where's Google? Oh yeah, Google's up by 3. I think a lot of people are figuring out the whole TPU thing and all of that, because that's a good sign. I mean, Google is literally up 3.3 after that. Yeah, that's your boy who's kind of giving you some weight here. And Amazon's barely up too, but at least it's up. Who's the other one? Meta. Yeah, even Meta's going up. So Nvidia's down, and then Apple, everyone else, Nvidia, Oracle, and Broadcom. Broadcom might catch up, but even then, they're slowly down. Baba's starting to move. I don't know. I was expecting a little bit more of a weaker open, and then that would have helped you rip higher. But after the little John Williams thing, it was a little parachute, but I'm just looking for speed now, and I would be looking towards like middle of the day, end of the day. That's when you'll kind of get a better idea of what's really popping or not. Because that's it. If we could hold a good close on Friday, awesome. But it doesn't matter really what happens here in the next 5 hours, because then if it all gives up at the end of the day and it's a shitty close, I don't think that'll be fun. All right, there's Google. Google might be good for a little bit. That's that. Big spreads. XYZ and PayPal, they're still going up now. HD, more value plays. Oracle getting worked. And then where's our boy? That's that. One God, one king, one way. That's that. Oh, it's not gonna fill. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm trying to get out of something, but it won't fucking fill. Oh, what? All right, they wouldn't fill me, and then I had to change the order, and then they gave me a 1 cent lower. That's stupid. I'm taking some profits on things. Pepsi with the candle. Oh yeah, today is a gigantic expiration, huh? Habibi. I know a big expiration. You know this? Alright, Google's kind of coming down there. And then Pepsi, let me go back to more. Pepsi, HD, I think they're all kind of going. Even Walmart's holding pretty decent. But yeah, staples are looking great right now. They're up 3/4, double the SPY so far. I mean, literally almost every single one of them. We'll get you guys a check up here in a little bit. And then Nvidia just took another 2% off the open. So it's pretty much following Oracle and Broadcom as well. But yeah, most of the AI ones are just getting worked. I mean, Intel's not as bad, but then where's the WDCs and SanDisks of the world? Yeah, a lot of those. I mean, is there any AI name besides Google that's up, essentially? I don't even know if Google even gets the title of that, but it did recently. Amazon, AMD. So, okay, you're giving up, what, 1/4 of that move, but it's still very, very small. UNH, Watch Healthcare. Yeah, healthcare is actually holding up any of that little rotation there as well. Was that one? NVRI, they already flushed. Macy's. Why is Macy's up too? I think they had earnings. And then Tesla's at least holding. Pop, lock in, long term. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Healthcare's doing good. Healthcare kind of lagged yesterday. Remember, it was XBI. Eli Lilly's doing it again too. So you know the Eli Lilly, that is the one that they like to do that. I got filled on another one. I'm just getting out of some things. Then I have a couple of ideas. But we wait a little. It's been a 12 minute. All right, SPY's moving a little better. You just have to, I think you have to flush a little bit more of the Nvidias and all that other stuff. I think there is a little bit more weight. I don't know if the liquidity, I know it was, I don't think anything showed up at the repos last night. This night. Bitcoin's coming up though. Bitcoin was down 3. Like I was saying, Bitcoin, gold were a little bit weak. I mean, the dollar is up today, but it's at least kind of moving more so than not. Remember, that was the weird part about yesterday. And then first 12 minutes, you're unchanged. Your cash open. This is what sucks, because this is what happened yesterday. Even though it was a good day, the cash open was bleh. And that's after seeing one of those insane cash opens just a day or two before that. Nibis is going up. Iran, where's we'll say Oracle and CoreWeave. WBD now doing the move. You're gonna get, again, they have something today, but they say that every day. Yeah, XLV as well too. XBI, man, that move yesterday, but now you don't have the same regen XS stuff. But yeah, it's still at 0.8. Again, healthcare yesterday, healthcare lagged a lot more. Healthcare's doing better than biotechs. So I'll give you one. That's the problem. You're going to make today. It's still early, man. Everything's still early, and just like yesterday, keep your head on a swivel. If you are going to do anything, I would do it small, and then I wouldn't get too frustrated on too early or too late, more so than staying alive and not letting it crush. Spotify, I thought they had bad news. They're going up. Roblo did. GE on the low. They're kind of flushing. What's going on with GE Aerospace? Yeah, they're kind of dumping. I know there was somebody got like a deal. Was it ASTS with the launch, and then Boeing got something. Abbott's on the high. Yeah, GE's just dumped two to start. I don't know where that even fits into all of this. I guess Boeing's going down, but yeah, that one's kind of odd. This cash open sucks. I mean, it's only been 15 minutes, but still. Oh, there's the S&P, 51.9 versus 52. So that came in line. Services, 55 versus 54.6. So another set of data just coming in slightly better or in line. Composite was 54.8 versus 54.5. So again, you have a consumer sentiment comes out too in, I think, 15 minutes or an hour. It's either 7 or 7:30. But yeah, you got that set of data. Tesla low. I think all that matters is the close or the last like 2 hours, but you know, we're gonna find out, man. It's a very interesting move to start off, but I don't know if this is confidence inspiring. But then it might have to just work through a little bit of weight that was still left over. And this kind of even shows, I mean, it's not, yesterday was not just about the Fed. I know, like, literally, Fed rate cut odds are at 70% after going to 20, but it's deeper than rap, homie. It's just, yesterday was odd. You usually, when you get a move like that, top to bottom, that size, there's usually something identifiable or some big event that caused the volatility. You had real volatility, that, you know, going up to down like that, but yesterday there was a lot of different events, but not really one you could really say it was. And Google's holding up. I mean, let me put it this way: you're about to go negative right now. You would already be negative if Google fucking gave up any part of this. So Google's just staying pinned. I don't know if they're going to be that safe haven. And Apple's even up by 1% too. So this is all like on the chipset side. Yeah, Oracle about to go. Maybe I should have kept those Broadcoms. Yeah, those are still working. Those, I had just some that expired today. Zelensky expects a lot of political pressure in coming days. Arquite. I think real estate stocks did benefit a little bit more off of those Fed William comments, but then it didn't really help the chips. Yeah, home builders are even up on the high as well. And bonds, I mean, what, 0.3? So the bonds are up enough. If you get a sizable move, that would be more volatility. Etsy's on the high. I don't know where that fits into this market. Good morning. God bless America. Where are the banks? The VIX is still up. The Qs, again, think in that nature as well. Yeah, TLT ain't budge. Would option assignments help or hurt? I don't know. But how's your long-term doing? You have a good long-term? But I think today is just the expiration, and that'll probably clear up some stuff. That's why we'll see the close and then wait for tomorrow. Or wait till next week. Nibis is actually going up. That's surprising considering most of the similar ones. All values going up now, man. Value, healthcare, those are straight off the bat and they're holding. So it feels more rotationary. If things get bumpy today and you give up that, then yeah, you'll have a problem. But for now, even if tech goes down, Microsoft's dumping. Yeah, actually, what the fuck was that? Is it lagging? Why did it just print that? I got a low print on Microsoft and then it's already up. But yeah, you're going straight rotation right now. A lot of it's going straight. I mean, some of them are already up by 1% and whatnot. I don't know if you still have those, which one? The Walmart, the PG, and the other one. The unch. And then Eli Lilly. I was saying, I was just starting right off the bat. But then all the healthcare, all the biotechs, it's looking very good. SEMO. Dude, is my shit lagging? I can't tell. I'm seeing some of these prints and then I click, oh, SEMO's up 4. That might be something, brethren. It's super liquid. I don't know if it's halted. Oh, I didn't turn on your guys' wire, huh? Nope, it's not halted. The only cheap ones are far at the money. I don't know how that'll fare, but that's 4%. I mean, usually if it's a liquid, you're gonna want way more. And then there's Elijah Lilly. Let's see if we can get this. Oh, they failed me on a low one. Here. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're filling me on cheap shit if I put it in. Google's starting to go too. It seems to do that. Yeah. Yesterday, that's why, like, if it looks like it does nothing, usually you're gonna need like 9% or something ridiculous. Eli Lilly becomes the first healthcare company to hit 1 trillion valuation. Habibi. Oh, wow. How you do this? This is amazing. Alright, I think those. MSTR Sailor defends business amid index concerns. Are you going to delist how you delist the Bitcoin, Habibi? So make no sense. Oh, it is a big expiration. Maybe that's why the cash opens shit. That could explain it. Indeed. Indeed. I think SEMO is going to be a dud. Unless it goes up again. That's that. Alright, value stocks. Alright, yeah, Google's breaking above 300. I don't know. Out of everything going on, all the AI, all the chip, you do have Apple up, but again, even they were talking that TPU stuff this morning. You didn't really hear it too much yesterday. It would come up in passing, but most of the mainstream started bringing it up. So, and then again, it is doing a lot better. I mean, you could do a spread on Eli Lilly. Just all depends on the price. Or if the spread is very close to the money, that's a way to do it. You're just going to limit your upside, but closer to the money or not. But then, like Eli Lilly, you could find some cheap ones where it's kind of better for the risk to reward. But a spread isn't a bad idea. If you're doing a spread that's far out the money, I think that's just, you're better off not putting a spread on it, if that makes any sense. That's that. One God, one King. Elijah Lilly, Habibi. That's crazy though. $1 trillion on a healthcare company. Look at, come on, insurance companies, take notes. Y'all just needed to invent Ozempic. Bro, you guys, I feel like everybody is loving Ozempic again. Or just the GLP-1s. It's not talked about as much, but then like, everybody's like loving the whole, do it for health, do it for skinny. I feel like I've heard about it a lot, even into the end of the year here. Is that anybody getting Ozempic for Christmas? No? Okay, no, my bad. I don't know if is that offensive. Like, if I got my mom Ozempic for Christmas, do you think she would take it the right way? Or no, is that it's not a good idea? I don't know. I'm not really good at gifts. Elijah. Do you know Elijah? All right, starting to move up here again. That first rally was like a couple of tech names, Google, Apple, and then all of the healthcare staple, XLV, XBI, XLP. But some of the staples did chill out here a little bit, some more than other. XRP? Oh, I thought that was retail. So that one's interesting. You did have Macy's and then Dillard's. And VRI. Apple chilled out a little too. Where's NVIDIA? NVIDIA came up. That's 2% off the bottom. It looks just like yesterday. Even the market and the SPY. But remember, NVIDIA did this just at a bigger scale. Had that little sell, bottomed out real quick, and then chilled, and then, yeah. Happy birthday, baby. Amen. Good morning. I hope the long term succeeds. I hope you grow with it. Amen. Amen. STRL, what's that? Yeah, that other one was going to be a dud unless it comes up. That's SEMO. That's why I kept them really small, but the asks were high. If you put them in low enough, you would have got one. And then Googly. Again, I'd keep everything very small too. Otherwise, I still think you're in Chop City. And then, I mean, speak of the devil. Dude, we haven't moved already. Almost 30 minutes. I'll get you a checkup here in a little bit. Crowd. NVIDIA. Google. Spida. VIX over 22. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. You've lived above 22 for a while. So I'm not too worried about that. I think you guys see, I mean, this market setup is insane. Just everything from yesterday and that type of move, and really all week that let us down here. But I think you have your work cut out for the end of the year, and it's either gonna, some of these AI factors are either gonna get a lot better or a lot worse. You know, Google was a good development, but then there was other stuff that kind of makes you have to account for different risks. BHP, watch out, because they got, I think they had exports restricted or something today. But yeah, BHP getting a candle. It's small though. And then again, I think there is going to be a lot of pump fakes today on expiration day. So if it really doesn't trigger, you might have to be careful. Okay, and some of the calls, I'm glad I took some, but notice your calls with time, they should be down. Even though they should, this is too slow. So this is the bad part, you guys. If it doesn't take off, this is now where you're going to be green, but you're not going to feel it. But again, this is moving very slow. Any of the value plays and anything with healthcare is doing amazing, but yeah, anything tech related that has time, it's not, you're getting worked. Some are just going straight down too, but it's just different now. There's even some that are like holding, but it's just too slow. GTX. Cigna, that's another healthcare. Iran. Yeah, equal weight is up by 0.6. It's double the SPY, but this is terrible. So again, if you get some juice in the day, that'll be nice, but this isn't even enough where, like we're saying here, if the whatever happens towards the end of the day, it's not gonna, that does not look good. Because now if you don't have as much there. Oh, Michigan consumer sentiment. Oh, I gotta turn on the wire for you guys. Sentiment came in 51 versus 50.6, actually better. And then current conditions 51.1 versus 52.3. 51 versus 49. Where is the inflation? 1 year 4.5 versus 4.7. So people expect lower inflation. And then 5 year 3.4 versus 3.6. Again, I still don't think that data matters, but it is coming out. Because you were getting consumer sentiment, I believe, during all of this, during all the shutdown. Yes, that was the blue hair index. HMY. Hominy gold. Oh, there was a deal with Australia. EU is buying Australian minerals companies. Yeah, Google's flushing. I know the currencies. I mean, people, the yen. Maybe we should put up the yen. The problem is everyone's going to get hyper fixated on it. But yen had a strong day. Is it like an intervention pop? It is. The yen is going up. So watch if the bonds react with it, but that correlation hasn't really been there. And then you did just get the data. And then the VIX is coming back up. So watch out here because you got data. You haven't hit a new low yet, but the VIX is, and now the NASDAQ is going red. Again, they remember that comment in the morning. What's it called? They were saying how they said it's going to be their most forceful action. And then values going straight up, though, still. Most of them. There's still a couple that are struggling, but now all the tech, even now, like we said, if you give up Google, that's not going to be as good. But healthcare, actually, healthcare is really rocketing. I don't know if, is that Humana? I don't know if that's individual or not. Yeah, but Humana's taking a candle. Again, that could be part of the Friday and the expiration. Yeah, medical's doing great. Ford and GM on the high. Do we have something there? And then AT&T. This is kind of how yesterday played out. Almost. You guys remember? You were getting a little. It's not like you're flushing too hard yet. You just had that VIX move, but now AT&T, more value. I don't know who needs to hear this, but those 200 names that are red are most of the names going up right now. You know, so shout out to being prepared on the value. But then again, that's what sucks for the long term because it's not like this little downside brought you new prices unless it was tech related. That's that one guy. got? One king. Semo dud. XBI too, bro. Those things move a lot. Just randomly. But yeah, that one's still holding up. Whatever. Remember ATKR, bro? Whatever that is. That just keeps... I forgot about that one, but it keeps going up. Apple's doing good. Again, you just had VIX started going up before a low. They dumped a couple of the techs, but then all the staples rallied on that. So take a look. Equal weight should be running, yeah. Equal weight has hit a new high already, and that actually has a decent amount of cushion, 0.7. SPY's only up 0.3. You're getting dragged by NVIDIA and a few others. Yeah, Broadcom went lower. Oracle below 200. But now Target's going up even. Dana here. Lows even. These are all 2%, bro. So again, that rotation is still very much intact from the morning. Procter & Gamble starting to run up. So yeah, I do think from the morning it was more rotationary. Just be careful if it hits a wall. That's it. Essentially, if it starts to hit a wall, then that's where it's going to get a little bit more choppier. SpaceX Starship booster burst apart during ground test. Google DOJ. Breakup ad manager is unworkable. Yeah, that Microsoft candle, remember earlier? I was tweaking out, but it did take another candle lower, $2 lower. Now SPY's going up. Again, the consumer sentiment was good, but after that, you had that little VIX freak out and then doubled down on all the rotation stocks. And then auto started moving too. It's very small though. Russell's actually the leader on the day besides the equal weight. And then, what do we got? So Dow Jones, 22 in the green, 8 in the red. NASDAQ, 68 green, 33 in the red. And then SPY, 414 green, 88 in the red. So just like yesterday, just a lot smaller. You have almost 80, 90% in the green. So that's a lot of room to go down, or if those can like double down, that'll be a lot stronger. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. It's very, just like yesterday, but just way tinier, not even as good. But then you do have everything is green right now. Like, no exaggeration. I mean, it did start off low, but yeah, it's 60, 70% on the NASDAQ. The Dow is primarily green, and then the SPY, you have under 100 names in the red. G20 protect critical minerals against unilateral trade curbs. KHC now, that's another value. And then you got Nokia news too, R&D, but something on Ericsson the other day as well. And then SPY still dancing around. Honestly, just pay attention. Tech is going to do its tech, but just pay attention for when, what's it called? Pay attention for if you hit that staple wall. That's going to be the issue. Because if everybody crowds the staples and then they start going down, that's when this is going to end. And then again, if Google gives up most of it. Because right now, like I'm telling you, 400 names are green. That's 400 opportunities for them to go red, or they all need to like double up so we could actually get out of here right within the cash open still. Been 39 minutes. One God, one king. It's a good one, bro. Lulu, yeah, even the little smaller values. Again, I think Procter & Gamble, Walmart actually faded. So watch out for that one. Yeah, they did split the VIX and the SQQ. When you got something on G20 protecting critical minerals against unilateral trade curbs. All right, Google now giving up, still up 2%, which is a decent amount. I mean, if Apple goes, Alcoa's moving off that headline. Yeah, man, TGX, the 2-day effect, bro. And Molina, your boy, what's his name? But Batman. Good. Happy birthday. Happy belated. There's a lot today. I hope the long term has been growing alongside you. That's what we need. Amen, man. All right. I'm going to go to the bathroom. 41 minutes in. Not bad. I think everybody's still waiting.
So risk parity vol control funds.
God bless America.
And so we think that they're in sell mode, and that likely will continue. But a lot of the sort of individual de-risking from non-systematic institutions and from individuals, that we think is mostly behind us, based on a number of different, metrics that we're looking at. So once price starts to move higher, and as more days go by, that systematic selling we think will abate. And as you mentioned earlier, seasonality right now is very strong. We still have 5 weeks left of this very strong period. And don't forget that in the first quarter, refund checks are going to be much higher than expected. And so you're going to have this money flow, which is part of the typical seasonality, heading into equity markets. So I think we really need to churn through this current de-risking flow, which I think we've gotten through most of it, and before we can move higher. And remember the backdrop, which is that earnings estimates are moving higher. We just went through a great quarter. Sales were up 8%. The forward earnings estimates is up to 302 for the S&P 500. So the fundamental backdrop is still there, which is what gives us comfort that we are close to the end of this current de-risking.
Right. Even though the 493 estimates aren't necessarily on an up trajectory for 26 at least.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, this is really, to be fair, is really an AI trade. It is, the S&P 500 is an AI trade. It's that's where most of the earnings growth, the sales growth is coming from. And so if you're going to own, the S&P, you are making, for the most part, a single bet. And when you do that, it has higher risk, which we're seeing now, but can also have higher reward.
Yeah, definitely. That's why people say it's been such a well-crafted instrument, at least for the moment. And we have been talking about these 65.50 levels for a while, about where we are right now. Eric, appreciate the help. We'll see you in a few days, I hope. Eric Johnson over at Cantor.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
Our roadmap for the rest of the hour, when we come back, Alphabet's higher again today. Big outperformer on the week, while some other AI names saw declines. We'll talk about how much more upside could be in the stock.
Plus, value investor Bill Nygren is going to give us his take on the market volatility and the names that he is most impressed with right now.
And much more on Bitcoin's breakdown and how long it could last. Squawk on the Street is back after this.
All right. Our slow baby. Chops, I think it's tension. I mean, if the staples weren't going up, though, I think it'd be a lot uglier. Again, that's why I said the shitty part about the John Williams thing is that it changed the rate cut odds, but that took away your panic open. In a weird way, you would have been better off fucking dumping and having 500 names low on the morning and then ripping, rather than kind of 400 names in the green and now you're playing this game back and forth. So again, keep in mind though, just like we talked about yesterday, if there's anything that's still green and if it does start to really flip, I'd probably wait till the staples hit a wall, but there's going to be a lot of names that'll still be green. And that's again, you could wait and keep it small and wait for the panic. But other than that, if there's no panic, it's just going to chop around. And remember, this is, what's it called? This is still the, this is still Chop City. Even yesterday was a little better, but this, again, that's, what was it? About 10, give it an hour and a half. You're already about an hour 15 or less than an hour, 45 minutes in. Yeah, TJX is still going. That one, it did the 2-day, man. That one's crazy. Yeah, Cigna, Humana as well too. UNH, Elijah hit $1 trillion and chilled out. TAP is even going. Check the material place too, and then SPY's moving. Visa and MasterCard, I mean, financials weren't the hottest. There was literally no money at the repos. Jim Rickards on Geos, 4,800% potential. Space Technologies. TJX at 52-week high. All right, high ticker is actually going pretty quick. It's not fully gassed out, but these are just all value, a couple material. Did I just see Starbucks? Clorox? Yeah. That's what sucks, man. Because some of these names the staples aren't doing that bad, but then again, you have NVIDIA adding the pressure. Google and Apple are the only thing. You even have Microsoft down, too. Trump says he was not threatening Democratic lawmakers. That's a couple minutes ago. Trump predicts civil meeting with Mamdani, Fox News. General Mills as well. That was the other day. Yeah, dude, a lot of things are up. It sucks because some are getting now decent, like some of these staples. Now the VIX is on the high. This is all tech. It's literally NVIDIA, Oracle, Broadcom, Microsoft. That's what's bringing you down. Now, you better pray it doesn't bring Google negative, but if it does, that's not good. You're going lower, though. Like I'm saying, you got 400, only 5 names right on the Dow. Just keep this number in mind. 64 green on the Nazi, and then 403. 20 names just went red, though, on the SPY. Oh, I think I got one. Yeah, SPY is about to go red. Equal weights holding. NASDAQ just went a quarter. These shitty spreads. Trump reiterates his confidence in FBI head and DOJ. No, I don't think the NVIDIA stuff is from the audit stuff. You guys need to stop watching Meet Kevin. It's polluted your minds. So, okay, I don't know if you guys... We had a video last night, but it is very... there was a lot that happened yesterday historically, and there's a couple of things at play, but I don't think it is, you know, I don't think that's a real concern, at least for the market. Well, I could already see it. Even if you have a value name, they're ripping. That's the good part about it. Like, you know, we had some of those. Walmart slowed down from yesterday, but like the Procter Gamble, UNH, Elijah, any of those are doing very good. But then the problem is that anything like tech related or not like ripping because it's a staple, even if it's up here, they're getting crushed. That's exactly what we were expecting. That's why I was saying this is too small. This was the scenario I gave you that everyone's gonna really hate, right? You gap down, you ripped up, there was opportunity. You rip up really hard, sell off, there's opportunity. You kind of just go, you know, the Lord hates lukewarm. This is very lukewarm, even though there's 400 names up. That's why I'm saying it's kind of there's a lot more pockets that are just not up there enough. So we'll see. It was the ETF guy on Twitter. Well, yeah, man, that's why I've been telling y'all you need to clear up your shit. But that's why I don't know, man. I don't like it when you guys bring it up here because nobody would have been thinking that until you pollute it. So I'm sorry, but that's why I want to have a higher standard for you all. Because yesterday was historic, man. And there's a lot of things that were actually like kind of game changing. So I would hate for you guys to miss it. Remember, the idea is to make you miss the planting. Don't forget that. All right. Oh, they just jacked up those prices on me? Are you fucking me? Boo. Oh, it failed. It took a little bit. Tesla's starting to go. Yeah, just honestly, just start putting it on. I just put out one right there. I'll give you one. But like start low and then go higher. It might take a little bit, but yeah, I wouldn't be against it. And then WDC on the low. And then Apple's fucking ripping. So that's that's another little sign that's helping you, but this is just all too weak. This is such a very, very lukewarm reception. But now that candle's getting bigger. I don't know who it could be Apple. And then Google a little off the bottom. Hey, I'm Dizzle. Target, is that real? I think it is. Yeah, staples have been getting a lot. I'm Remember, healthcare, healthcare, the inflows the last 2 weeks. I don't know if that's going to hold up, but the rotation is real. It's alive. I'm just worried about it hitting a wall. But if it don't hit a wall, that's going to be the winner today. Again, some of them are already up a decent amount. That's why it's like if you could get Nvidia up, Microsoft, if they stabilize with the staples, this day will look a lot better. And then again, it is still expiration day, so I mean, some of this kind of makes sense, but yeah, I just don't like the speed. The speed is slow, it's small. This is probably your worst case scenario after yesterday. But then again, there's pockets that are doing very well. So if you have staples, I would just focus on that, and that's gonna serve you. BXL. All right, man. 3 candles there. That has to be a mix of tech. Again, Apple started it. Google just popped another 0.5%. And like I said, Microsoft too. They were down pretty bad. So yeah, I mean, PayPal and Square, they've been going up. Those like mid-tier and then even like MasterCard, Visa, they started running too. Financials aren't bad. So honestly, I think tech is just getting in the way of how this looks. Core Weave is dumping. So yeah, that's looking a certain way. Interesting. Dog, wait, didn't we hit Core Weave at 60? Oh my gosh. Dog. That's actually crazy. You don't remember beginning of the year, we hit this off of the breakout. We hit it at $60. And then we got to catch that move, but like, holy shit. Dog, it's already back. Oh. You guys remember that? Beginning of the year, remember we played the IPO breakout? But holy shit. Oh man. Now the white guys for Camilla are reeling. This is I told you some of them moved to Core Weave and I was happy for them, but I hope they've made it free. But damn. I didn't think it would go back to... I thought it'd take a little, because usually some of them take a while to come back down after that. Habibi. Le keda. Colombia, horrible in fighting drug traffic. You're tweaking around. This is all tech. I mean, again, that Core Weave, Oracle type moves, those don't help. So like I'm saying, I just keep an eye on Google and Apple mixed in with the staples or even NVIDIA, because that'll give you a little bit more steam. But yeah, it's very deceptive right now. Like I'm saying, if you really want to make life easy, I would just focus on the staples. Focus on the pockets that are actually going up. I would not look at the SPY, because the SPY looks like it's doing nothing, and then you do have 2-3% pockets on the other ones, and the premiums are moving on the staples. So that's otherwise the tech is getting in the way. Or you can focus on the big tech winners pretty much, but even then I don't think that's gonna be yeah, there's only a few of them. Google must double AI compute to meet demand, infrastructure boss tells employees. And then Verizon, AT&T again, DGNX. I just took a big candle. That's 4%. It's not loading. I don't know if it's glitching. It looks a liquid though. All right, it's that little pop and drop, bro. That's all Apple, Google. Apple not as bad. The Apple's holding up really well, but Microsoft, even Nvidia is going into the low 176. Yeah, CoreWeave is crazy. I think we had 9,000% on that one this year, but we left a little on the table too. That's the crazy part. But yeah, man, that's why I just book them. I mean, it's even then in this environment too. I wouldn't get too frustrated on either side. Sell too early, sell too late. But yeah, straight up, bro. This is Chop City. And McDonald's, the Grinch. So again, that one started to go. Remember yesterday, that one went up later. PG, Pepsi. I really like the PG. Man, whatever the log there. That's what sucks. We might have to go check Slick Charts right now. Is this bad timing? Do you guys want to talk about something? I think I'll talk about it because I think I'm finalized here. I should have held the Broadcom though. I was scared of the daily. Oh, that would have made another. Ooh. Oh, that would have been disgusting. But the other ones are good. And then the upside plays are killing it. So just remember, if things go down, you could think about the up. That's the irony that most people miss. And literally any of the ones that went up today that really went, if you had good positioning, those did phenomenal. The risk is going to be if everybody piles into the staples, then that's when it's going to stop. But yeah, man, I don't know who needs to hear this, but go to Slick Charts. The problem right now with the Slick Charts is most of the names that are already down a lot, they're not going lower on days like today. But yeah, man, just get familiar with this list. We've been telling you guys that. Even the names down 30, because some of these you can focus on to the upside right now, but realistically, I do want you to keep these in mind for your long term. Because again, even though this year is still up a lot, people are talking volatility, but you have a big amount of names that are still a lot lower, bro. So yalla. FLNC. Again, that had another flush and pop. And then Visa, financials, now Biogen. Could I show the list title? What do you mean? So you really haven't seen that? Are you really, you're being serious? You guys, so you haven't seen that? You have no idea what it is? Well, you could go anywhere to get it. Just go look at the component returns on that SPY. So, like, whether it's on TradingView, whether it's anywhere else, you could find it. But I would get very familiar with the ones that are down a decent amount. Actually, where's Fiserv? That one's even up today. What time is it? 7:30. 1 hour. So if nothing happens now, give it 30 more minutes and then we'll see. But I would just be worried if we hit a wall on the staples. If staples don't hit a wall, it'll just be a matter of tech getting through this little hangover and then finding a bid. But if they don't, it gets a lot worse. And then if you hit the wall, that's going to be the bad part about today. But if staples keep going, it'll be awesome. But yeah, like I'm saying, the things with those lists, though, unfortunately, the names that, like, are down a decent amount and, like, if they're good quality, those names aren't going down on this. You know, the SPY's off 5-6% from the highs. But, you know, we've been going over that list every day for the last 2 weeks. A lot of them started to bounce. So while the tech started to give up, that's the crazy part. So like I said, you know, the more you're familiar with it, you'll be able to track which ones you like, and then if one kind of gets out of range, you could still have a couple of options at your disposal. I mean, damn, even fucking TAP is going up. Yeah, Cigna, Humana, all the insurance plays, Elijah, still going. Yeah, smaller there, but still, again, this is big day for Eli Lilly. First $1 trillion healthcare company. That is kind of insane. And then Nivda on the low, though, right now. Jensen. You know that the guy at the gym was telling me. He said the guy sold. He was telling me Jensen sold his stock. And I said, he did. He does it a lot. Damn, Jensen. I thought we were going to eat Korean food together and do the little arm shot at 280, Jensen, not 170. The fuck, Jensen? I thought you I know, Jensen. Jensen, the guys at the gym are doubting you, Jensen. The guys on Wall Street love you, but the guys at the gym are doubting you, Jensen. Oh, Jensen. Is anybody going to name your next child Jensen? I mean, this is a bad time to ask you right now, but I don't know. I like the name. I don't know any other Jensen in my life. Actually, I do know a Jensen. I'm not kidding. I do actually know a couple Jensens. So it was a popular name, I feel like, in the 2000s. Jimson. All right, Yang on the high. China's starting to sell off. Plant. UPS. I mean, that's the thing. I be saying staples. Not all of them are really staples, you know. But it's either staples or year-to-date laggers that are catching the bid. I think UPS is like borderline staple discretionary. But then again, shipping is like a consumer staple. It all depends how you want to look at it. Huh? Hey, yo, what the fuck? Hot dog. Yo, the dead fucking NVIDIA puts from earnings, like there was like these 2-cent ones, they're going up. That's odd. All right, well, like I said yesterday, man, if you really think the panic returns, I'd give it another 20-30 minutes, but out of the money is fucking cheap until it isn't. That's just the reality of it. The skew is not going up. It's just like the earlier sell-offs that we saw. Otherwise, if you want to make dollar for dollar, like that's why I'm pissed. I was in the money on Broadcom and I fucking whiffed it. I got a good amount. I mean, I still was up a couple 100%, but like still, that dollar for dollar, I would have made another $1,000 per contract on that. So like, but then out of the monies though, if you get the real panic flush, that nobody's buying crash protection, they are just liquidating, right? Yesterday was that level, so they're gonna be cheap until they're not. But you need a damn panic move. But yeah, those NVIDIAs are fucking moving now. I wrote those off. I didn't think those would actually catch a bid, but they did. But then they're widening spreads on the other volatility shits. So like UVXY, SQQ, the spreads are very wide. I don't know. It depends. I'm only looking at one set though. Little fuckers. Oh, that's why. The city cautions on S&P long as AI optimism worsens. But it was a good earnings. I thought it's supposed to be good. How does it be? It's not to be. It's an earnings be. I heard someone say that they were like, "This is such a whack bubble." What do you mean this is a bubble? So yeah, now it's good though. I think it's a good mix of both. But hey, man. I just want some velocity. I don't care. You want a velocity up, you want a velocity down, my brother. I'm not here to judge you on your politics. I just We need to just give me some velocity. It sucks. I have a play, but it's a fucking non-standard. It's actually shitty, but it's not. But I don't know. It might fucking work. It's very weird. Das dat. Ukraine is losing land. Putin is not looking for more war. Huh? Oh, dude, they wouldn't film me on it. Dude, it was very, I don't know. This one's a weird one. I don't know. If you find a volatility play on so yeah, it's cheap, but it's not. But then again, those usually don't move. That's funny. Yeah, those shouldn't work, but they might. Bro, that's so crazy. And then if you took any of the puts on that's so dumb, dude. Yeah, bro, it's still kind of hoey. So you could have caught like a 3% move on there's a software play or like a component play. All they did was raise the ask by $1.50 and the bid is the same. Oh, that's hideous. So yeah, man, the only thing moving very well is the staples. The staples are trading very fucking normal. I'm telling you, any of the other, like Walmart went down a little bit, but the like Procter & Gamble, General Mills, those are working perfectly. Like they're going dollar for dollar, and it's going actually quite well. It's odd. That has a bid, the spread is nice, everything. But the downside, software, chips, all of that, all they're doing is raising the spread until you get in the money. Like I'm saying, that Broadcom in the money was solid, but I just sold it too early. That one would have worked, but I can't believe that. We caught a good one almost perfectly. It just took another 3%, but then it's not fucking... All they did was raise the ask. All right, you're doing the little low and up. Yeah, you got filled there. Someone just sold it. I just saw it and it filled, but... Yeah, kind of terrible. Kind of terrible. Wow, first event with the coffee trailer. Good, baby. Make a business. I like it. Good luck. There you go, man. Maybe one day we're gonna work it in with the AI. No, to get a robot. But I like it, man. We need more businesses. Business is good, Habibi. You don't really need a catalyst for panic velocity. I mean, ask yesterday. Because yes, that's why yesterday was a trip. There was just a lot of things all at once, but you couldn't put your finger on it. That's why even coming into today, it's like kind of funny and then scary that that everybody's kind of putting like 10 different reasons to everything. But yeah, it's you do need you usually need something, but it doesn't have to be. Remember, the yen got a bid, but then look at the bonds ain't do shit. Trump, Iran wants to make a deal. We'll probably make one. X is down, like Twitter. Oh, I'd love a fucking AWS outage right now. Just what we needed. But then again, that might make the market go up if people can't sell. So yeah, going up. Just keep an eye on the staples. Keep an eye if we hit the wall. Watch your big tech leaders to see how that's going to kind of guide us. X won't refresh. Yeah, my shit's down too. If things are working well, I tend to extend deadlines. It's not hosted on AWS. It's on its servers. Could be Cloudflare though. So it may not. I call everything an AWS problem from now on. But like yeah, like the other day was Cloudflare. So even if you hosted your own shit, but then you use Cloudflare as like your protection there to a degree, I think that still could have caused issues. I think the outages are very concerning. I mean, not concerned. Like again, everything. Like we talked about a lot of things yesterday. But like you shouldn't be afraid, but it's just like you should kind of understand what's happening, if that makes any sense. Oh, like understanding the peach. Oh, I understand that. Oh, Bradley Frizzle. Peach Nation. It's a Friday, Peach. Oh, fuck your volatility. Watch this. Now you got the peach. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What's volatility without the peach? You know, every historic market day in the last 5 years, you've had the peach. Oh, man. This is going to sound odd, but like the peach is like refreshing. And I mean this in the most positive way possible. But like I compare it to like the peach is like kind of like my morning dump. And now you're like, why would you say that? Because like when I take my dump, I'm very grateful. I am. Ask anybody. You guys hear me talk about my dumps in the morning. I'm very serious about that. So that's the peach is a relief, my brother. Oh. So good morning. Yeah, I don't know how. I hope that's well received. I hope you understand my heart and understand how that's important to me. Yeah, I was just telling them yesterday, my poop and prayer and my peach. Oh, the 3 P's of the morning. A poop, a prayer, and peach. Wow. Thank you, Bradley Frizzle. It's very important. That's it. Chad, when one of you guys becomes like a senator or the president, can you guys make it an official holiday? Can you make the peach, like, can we make it, like, it's just so important. TJ, I got you, baby. Thank you, man. Thank you for saying thank you. Because, like, I mean, again, if you guys have been listening, even if you're on, I'm not, any of the, like, specific gambles, I'm muting it for the locked, because I'm only telling the locked in. I'm not even telling them to play. I'm just giving them a good idea. Some of them I'm giving them a closer idea, but I've been talking Procter & Gamble. We talked yesterday on Walmart. I didn't mute it for any of y'all, the TJXs. So if you are trying to make those plays and listening, I am glad if you got them and being wise about it. So, but also too, make sure you get your long term and please don't break the rules. And that's it, man. Call it a day. You know, you don't even got to flex. Just keep making more money and you'll be fine. And please get a long term, man. Please focus on those down names. You guys don't think it's funny? I was telling you for 2 weeks in a row, and that's the only safe havens that you've had in this odd market. So yalla, habibi, yalla. The 3 P's, bro. A poop, a prayer, and the peach. That's a good morning. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you know when people say good morning? That's a good morning. Like imagine you have a good poop. You have a good prayer. I pray in the morning right when I wake up, but then like I do poop first. I'm not gonna lie. Because, like, I wake up and I yell, praise God. I don't yell it, or I'll yell it in my head. Like, this morning, bro, God is good, man. I woke up great, and I was feeling it. But then I was like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. And then I go to the bathroom, and then I settle in, and then we get into the prayer. And then once the markets start rolling, then we get the peach. I think it's important. Y'all don't get it. All right, Ups is on the high. Apple. So, again, take what I told you. Imagine if Staples, look at bonds are dropping, you might start looking good here. But think about it. If Staples don't drop, right? We've only talked about if the Staples hit a wall. You have to consider if Staples do not drop or they just hold up, and then big tech comes up, that's going to get you a little bit more of a lift. I hope you guys can see that. That'd be good. That would be the best case scenario. But then you need velocity. Otherwise, it's poopy dog water. Thermal. CRML. I don't know if you have a deal. You got Trump talking. And then, again, you might get a lot of fake pops today with the expiration. Yeah, be careful. Oracle. Oh, Oracle getting flushed. Yeah, watch out, though. There might be a lot of these fake pops. Where's Broadcom? Okay, at least it didn't go down more. Yeah, Oracle's down 7. That's terrible. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Yeah, Oracle's looking like damn Core Weave, dude. BFJ Masu says interest rate hike is coming as he seeks to communicate with the administration. Announced it's acquired one of the largest stockpiles of ultra purity copper powder for $20 million at $10 a share in an all-share transaction. So they bought somebody. There's an option lagging on it. I'll leave it for you guys. Again, get time on it unless you want to play the fuckery of the week. But yeah, I do think it's going to be a... You need really big signal if you want to take them. Well, Oracle is just showing the credit issues are not, that's it. So a good NVIDIA, a good almost set of everything, and these credit issues have not subsided. It's not really, that's a really bad sign. Again, even that's why there's other names that haven't been affected yet, but they will. That's the scary part. But at the same time, you know, especially with credit, it could get relief as quickly as it comes. But then, if it's one or the other, credit, you either do good or you fail completely. It's not like stocks. It's not where there's no middle ground. It's either you completely fail on a bond, or it's gonna pay out and mature. So yeah, that's the bad part about this. Oracle. ACAM. There's a couple of little mid-tier techs trying to catch a bid. Now. I created a long term because nobody want long term no more. They want long term. My chopped liver. You want long term? This is what I'll give you. A little bit of 10 mixed with some and he's operating. These spreads are hideous, horrendous, stupendous, lumentous. Right. So I'm gonna not take anything unless it's a news one, But so I just want to wait till it does its thing. So like there's opportunities, but I'd save some. If you already took a couple, already got to monetize a few, but then you need to get out of this little fucked up, or we need some real juice, man. And then at the end of the day, let them work through all the expirations, and then we'll have our shot. And then if anything, that's why I'll call out some that I think you could keep on watch. You could take them now if you want, but the idea would be we need to see where they're at close, because there's still a lot of time. There's a lot of time and a lot of opportunity. Google vertical. Yeah, that looks good, honestly. That does not look bad, man. That's your saving grace. I think, is next week short? It might be. I think at this point, or your boy Larry Ellison's gonna do something. You're gonna see like an insider buy or something, because at that point they need to do something for the credit. If this starts there, it's gonna be an interesting weekend. But yeah, and then Core Weave is already a fucked up canary. I can't believe Core Weave's back to 60, dude. And then I don't know, can somebody say thank you? Not that we hit the 9,000, but do you know how many of you asked me to put Core Weave in the long term at like 170? And I think I banned you, and then you thought I was an asshole. So, it's okay. We could still be friends, but I hope you guys... That's why we don't like buying the high ones. You know, and then and I said you'll get another shot. So now if you want Core Weave, I still think it's up. But at the same time, I think it's at least near the where it started, so it's not as crazy. That's much better in your favor. I mean, if Larry dilutes, that thing's dying. I don't think he would. That'd be a terrible move. But that's what I'm saying. At this point, you either need a real credit update or you need a show of faith, more or less. You guys don't remember? I think, and people were like making fun of me, because they were like, yo, you're this, you're that. They were getting mad that I was like telling them not to buy it in the long term. I guess 130 was the last time too. And I said, man, if you like it, I started the year at $30. 60 will be the IPO range. And like, I still think I was saying I'd rather have Intel at the moment, all year actually. I think Intel was a better play. But yeah, it's, yeah, you could do a lot more, man. You could do a lot more. No, bro, a lot of people wanted it, and that's why I thought it was propaganda. That's why I would even say, I would say, you guys are propaganda, because it's like, why are you going around telling people to buy it at such a high price? Especially after we just hit a fucking bag on it. But this is what, I hope you're not discouraged. This is what we were talking about yesterday with even the staking. Like, hey, listen, if you had to get it out the mud and learn it your own way, that's fine. But I hope you use this as a real learning lesson to build. And like I'm saying now, if you really wanted it, you could go for these names now that they're down. But the whole idea here is just be patient. You're always going to get your opportunities. And that's why it's like, utilize what's in your favor while it's in your favor. If something gets outside of range, it's not looking good, you play it differently. You know, and you'll be good to go, Habibi. The long term won't let me be me, so let me see. Try to shut me down on long term TV, but it feels so empty without me. Now. NVIDIA said the market did not appreciate its incredible quarter. It's not you, Jensen. It's not you. Again, I think the weird part is the Google and all the local model stuff. Because I thought that was going to hit next year, bro. I didn't think all this would kind of go there, but I do think that's one of the factors kind of messing with people. Now. Dog, they won't raise the bids. I think most of the data is done today. You got consumer sentiment and PMI. Yeah, the X down detectors coming around. Hog. For real estate, is it better to get your buyer's agent? What do you mean? I don't know why hog and then LYB. OIB is up 4 and it's kind of ramping. Not 4 on that candle, but doing pretty good. Yeah, man. Gemini is scarily good. But that's why, I mean, the world changed forever yesterday. I hope you guys know that. Cloudflare down detector problems. So, I'll share it with you guys. We talked about this yesterday. Because yesterday there was a lot of reasons and everybody was given their reason why the market moved like that. And on the video last night, I just focused on some of the weird ones and some of the stuff that wasn't really talked about a lot. So this is a big one. I think yesterday was historical. Not only was there a historical move in the market, but like legitimately, I think November 20th, 2025, that is a day that should be remembered because after yesterday, there's no going back. And what I'm talking about is Nana Banana Pro. And literally, I don't know if the market's pricing this in or if it could even understand it, but you guys got to realize that like video editing, picture AI by Google and Gemini, dude, it's insane. And now that was the point where there's no turning back in the sense of you can now create high quality fake content cheaply and better than anything you've seen, and that's doing that at a very unreal rate right now. And that's what I'm saying, you can't go back. I think one of these days we are gonna get a fake, the market's gonna react to something fake essentially until everybody picks up on it. But yeah, dude, the level of quality, I showed an example last night. I did it in a minute and I created some fake shit that looked better than anything you've ever seen. It's not like usually you make AI stuff, you tell it to do things, video, like there's always these things that you could see. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's the truer. It's almost indistinguishable now. And then the people who have a little bit of skill with it, it's that. Bro, there's no going back, man. There's no going back. So that's it. Gemini said buy Webull for earnings? Here, hold on. Let me check. Dimitri. My Gemini said to ban you. All right, I'm gonna follow the AI. If you're gonna follow it, I gotta follow it. So that's crazy. Yeah, this thing is advanced. But no, yeah, dude, I checked. I said that's amazing. But yeah, so yeah, you're not. That yesterday was a historical day with or without that move, and that's why I'm like, it's kind of nuts to think about. And we've talked about this. It pretty much cemented what I've been yelling at y'all this whole time. Long story short, the era of like truth and being able to know what's real, accurate, objective, it's very valuable now. And there's no going back after that, because the cat's out the bag. They've already unleashed it. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a wild, wild software. I did it yesterday, look, and it doesn't really hold back. Spy's coming down, though. So this was the thumbnail. I took the video, I put all my keys and my plays into it, and this is what it created. It did it amazingly. This is what we talked about. Look, it's not even afraid to put Epstein in it. I'm telling you, it's nuts. But this is like for like real valuable info. But I'm telling you, like, here, are you guys ready for this? So what I'm going to show you is not real. This is fake. But are you ready? Like, and I did this live for them in a minute, 2 minutes. It didn't take much. But the problem is that there's people more advanced. But like, so hypothetically speaking, if I told you, oh yeah, did you guys know Michael Jordan was like hanging out with P. Diddy all the time? Look, that's what Gemini. And this is a rough one by some dude. That was on the free version with no artistic templates or even real editing. That's insane. So yeah, that's what we were talking about yesterday. And that's why it's like, yeah, there is a whole nother level here of content, and like, you're not going to know. It's going to be a lot more difficult. And now some of you may be more advanced, but now imagine the rest of the world that doesn't have the same, that wouldn't be aware. Imagine the boomers. Yeah, exactly. Elections, all that shit, bro. It's crazy. Yeah, Gemini made the thumbnail. All I did was put the document in, and it created that. That's why I said, holy shit. So it's useful. You could create really cool, like, useful things with it, but like I'm saying now, that's different than Midjourney. That's different than Grok. You could like upload and tell it to do things, bro, and it actually does it. And then I'd be more worried of the people who actually know how to fucking edit, because now that the average person could create that almost effortlessly, and it would be pretty good. So yeah, man. Yes, the November 20th, bro. That did change a lot of things, man. It really, really did. I hope you guys get that. That's why I'm like, market might be pricing that in. I wouldn't say that's the real reason, but you're definitely like, I do think the market's going to have to deal with it one day. I mean, you guys thought I was just going insane. You thought you tried to make it about me, make it about religion. I've been warning y'all all year on accuracy, critical thought, objectivity, and why it's important. That's why you guys know. You should know me, I hope, because if you do, I mean, that'll help you in the future in the sense of you'll be able to know what's legitimate or not. And if I'm telling you'll know, again, you have to, what are you going to base it off of? That's why character is so important. Y'all just think it's a religious game. No, man. It's actually, character is a technological development. It's an advancement. Character is part of your tech, brother. Yeah, well, the TPU for Google, that's the other part of it. I think the long story short with Google is that, like OpenAI is all on NVIDIA chips. But Google was able to create that, what I just showed you, that was not using NVIDIA chips. So that is a surprise development. It still speaks to the broader theme of like, people are going to build out, adjust, and make things, more effective. But It's like that's kind of new for the last couple years. You know, most people really, NVIDIA really had that moat more or less of what it was and how it was used, but to come up with any sort of accelerating technique to do what those chips do without the chip is kind of fucking insane. I don't know how much. I need to see how much it costs, but maybe I can make my first movie with Gemini. And then, yo, guys, so get ready. 20 more minutes, but Bitcoin's doing it again. But Bitcoin was already down. So we talked about this last night. It's either if the dollar doesn't move, it could be something China related, but also at the same time, do you guys know that the average Bitcoin holder is underwater? Just based on that, like pretty much the average price is like 87,000. But then the problem, this is, again, you can't say you haven't heard this before. So, because you guys remember when I was telling you, we gave that scenario, and everyone was like, Bitcoin going to zero. And I'm like, it doesn't have to go to zero to hurt people. Because look at all the volume at the higher transactions. But essentially, you had way more purchases than ever before at this higher 125 till now, or even this range. That's why it's so devastating, because now the average price of holders, it's about $90,000, I think, or 88. So, yeah, this is insane. Look, because even during 2024, bro, that wasn't real volume comparatively. So you had so much more positioning at such a high price. That's why, again, 90,000, 80,000 is literally, that's like 3 times the price when Elon bought Bitcoin and everybody went crazy. Remember, that was the first real treasury purchase. And then they manipulated it. Well, yeah, I don't like the Bitcoin going down. You guys said the dollar's moving, and it is. It's actually going up. So maybe if we do get some fear or panic today, the dollar might work. Consumer Price Index for November to be released December. BLS is coming out with that again. Yeah, that is true. You can't switch from, like, in the NVIDIA ecosystem is very good. Like, that's the thing. It's not as if it's the chip itself. The hardware is great, but it does offer a lot. And, like, ARM-based chips and the way they do it, that is what a lot of people go for. But nonetheless, the Google development is still pretty insane. BLS says they're repumping it again, bro. This is just like yesterday or 2 days ago. It's the same exact headline. BLS says there'll be no October CPI report, and then they're gonna say it's going to November. But again, about an hour and 12 minutes in, yeah, dude, what the fuck is this? This is the same exact thing. They're like, well, the BEA, the ULB, the ABC, the DEE. So what the fuck is this, dude? We know. They really want you to know. All right, well, market's going up on it that time. And bonds. I mean, last time the bonds did good, the tech did. Have we hit a wall on Staples? A little bit. Yeah, take a look. XLV did calm down. NASDAQ still barely red, spying the green. I don't know where equal weight's at. Bitcoin and its corporate holders become too big to fail? Never. I mean, you remember FTX, right? I don't know if you could recall, but, you know, I think there's a better argument of AI and OpenAI being too big to fail rather than Bitcoin and people buying it, unfortunately. It's a shame that they threw it in everyone's 401k at the highest price possible, and the ETFs is really what did it, but yeah, you may have given it too much credit. I know, I remember that. You remember when people were like, Google's gonna fall behind? They were saying Google was the search, Google is gonna do bad. Because at one point, Gemini was dumb. Gemini sucked. There was a point in the last 2 years where OpenAI ran laps around Google. Like, ChatGPT was substantially better than your boy Gemini. But yeah, Google, they fucked it up, dude. They killed it. That's why it's and they did it with a lot less money. That's the crazy part. And that's the thing, though. I was thinking about it last night. And then the more local models you get, it's gonna change even the cloud industry. Cloud's gonna be important, but if people have the part of the data centers and local models, you reduce that reliance. We might just go through a shift one day, kind of like when you remember when like Adobe had to shift from CDs to software, and there was an adjustment period. That's kind of how some of these names might play out, and as they keep developing. I like Grok a lot. I don't think Grok has always been solid. Grok doesn't have like the same image type and some of the other stuff Google just dropped, but Google was really far behind at one point. Google really, Gemini was not. Again, you guys you should all remember it. People were saying Google was falling behind. Yeah, and then they had the bad Google presentation. I remember that with Gemini. And then Gemini was like, World War I was fought by women. The women of color led us to the revolution. And it was like really misinterpreting history even, and people freaked out. There was another big failure on one of the Gemini presentations. Southwest all right, high tickers gas in. It's more tech based than not. The staples did kind of hit a wall for a little bit. All right, should we take a check? What time is it? 13 minutes till Euro. 21 green, 9 in the red. That's roughly the same. NASDAQ 100, 64 green, 37. BLS cost index to be released December 10th. Again. And then SPY 398 green, 103 red. It hasn't gotten really much worse from here. Do another pizza rumor on Friday or what? Man, it's SPY going down a little bit. Again, the only problem now is watch out. Give it another 12 more minutes, but the only problem here is that staples slowed down a little. They're all kind of like matching up, just like yesterday. Atlanta GDP in 40 minutes. Remember the news yesterday where you got more BLS, and then I think they're delaying the real like GDP, the overall GDP. They're delaying that till then. And Walmart gave up, bro. It kind of feels like Netflix now. See, that's odd. But then if you better be careful. If any of the staples reflect Walmart, it'll be terrible. Who's the other one? Is it Microsoft? Yeah, Microsoft is already going into the low. Google's still holding up great. I don't know where Amazon's at. Amazon's kind of tweaking. But yeah, you don't want NVIDIA to look like that. They are killing the expiry premium. It's still very small. I mean, yesterday, you at least had a little bit more upside and back and forth. This has just been a very tight dribbling down. Like I said, just watch if everything either matches up or not. You still get a little hope in the staples, and then you're down a quarter on the SPY. Russell's up 1-1, so it's not too bad. But Walmart and Microsoft. I never wanna hear you say. What is that? FAA issues some airworthiness directives for some Boeing 737s. Habibi. I mean, shit, dude. Even Boeing, man, they gave up a lot too. So Boeing's almost at where it started the year. But yeah, you got something. I don't know if that's serious or not. If any of you could weigh in on it, but I don't know what that is. I don't think that's like a big deal, or I don't know if it's like something causing it. But they issue airworthiness directive for some Boeing 737s. And they SPY right back up. So look, high ticker's gassing. You got Microsoft down, Nvidia's still holding, but yeah, no, you're getting a lot of juice here. A lot of travel, a couple of the staples that aren't as big, like this mid-cap staples. Those are doing good, or even, again, year-to-date laggers. Peach National. You might be, tell him to refresh, bro. He's like an hour behind. He might need a, you guys refresh if you're still on DVR. Honeywell, AMAT. Okay, the 30-second, 1 minute velocity's up. I mean, if you get back to open, it could hit a high. Like I'm saying, yesterday you would go down, you'd hit a high, come down, hit a new high, and then we started dying. You haven't hit a new high since that one right there. So see, if this fades again, that'll suck. But if it could actually break above here, it'll change it up a little. Again, momentum, high ticker is pretty active. It's like mid caps. The big guys move first. I want it long trade. Ain't nothing but a long chain. VRSN. Besant tweeted about Boeing 20 minutes ago. Is Twitter still down? And then UK accounting regulators weighing whether to formally investigate PwC's auditing of WH Smith. My Twitter works. Yeah, this is Besant on here.
I was down in my hometown of Charleston, South Carolina, 2 Fridays ago, and Boeing, thanks to the president's trade deals and bringing back jobs to the U.S., Boeing is expanding their line there by 50%. They build the Dreamliner, and that's 1,000 jobs. And I was also up in Sumter, South Carolina, and I actually brought this to show you and your viewers today. This is the first rare earth magnet magnet made in the United States in 25 years. It was made at a plant in Sumter, South Carolina, 800 construction jobs, 300 factory jobs, and the plant manager said that they could be going up to 3,000 jobs. And Laura, the great story there is many of those were laid off Caterpillar workers. But so I am very optimistic about the first, second, and accelerating into the third quarter in terms of growth. But I think what's important here, Laura, is we are going back to Trump-style growth, which is high growth, low inflation, which is just the opposite of the Biden years.
I don't believe you. Affordability. It is wild. It's been a year almost, though. But yes, still got to deal with that. I want it long trade. Yeah, Ross was one of the earnings this morning. Anything, bro, anything value, consumer, year-to-date lagger, or just, again, has cash flow not dependent on fucking loans and chips and bonds, they're doing great. That was the whole idea. Again, every time we talk about these value and quality names, just remember that that's why they've been doing good. Like, they're stable, they make money. You get growth on the companies that are like, oh, they're gonna make money or this, and then the debt. But there's a lot of companies that just make a lot of money, and they're boring when everything's hot, but when anything slows down or chills out, I mean, they're still making money. NVO is starting to wake up. You gotta catch up to your boy Elijah. At this point, Elijah should just buy NVO. Call it a day. Yeah, Walmart's dumping out too, but then that money's kind of going everywhere else. The bigger staples aren't doing it. Trump thinks Thursday is an appropriate deadline for Ukraine to accept the peace proposal. Is he on Fox News? Fox News, right? I want to play it, but I know what they're going to do. They're just going to play segments, and they'll be like, now buy gold. We'll be back after this, but if you buy gold today, you could protect your wealth.
Old water pipes. When they break at your home, it gets messy. You know your pipes are wearing out and you should replace them. You've put it off and put it off, and then one day they just
talking about
burst.
the farm like
Don't
that.
let this
I know.
happen to you. A friend of mine had a ceiling leak. That's how it started.
Oh my
then
God.
there was a leak near the water heater. It got so bad eventually he had to go stay in a hotel. I told him, call Creative Repipe. At Creative Repipe, replacing pipes in your entire home is all they do. They are local, licensed, and insured, and one of the most...
Shit, do I have to hear this again? All right, that stressed me out. I gotta go check my pipes.
Software development.
Hold on.
That more than 500
I'm
product
gonna go buy
and
gold
program
right now. I
managers
have
were
to.
let go, along with senior
I only
and
want the
principal level
commemorative
staff.
ones, though.
It's all part of CEO Andy Jassy's push to make Amazon operate like the world's largest startup. He said the company had added too many layers during the pandemic hiring boom, and that the current layoffs, the biggest in Amazon's 31-year history, were about fixing internal culture and
follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity.
Now, Amazon says
Real Code
AI
News on
is
Twitter.
Not the primary driver, but it is shifting resources toward automation and internal tools like its coding assistant Kiro. HR Chief Beth Galetti had said that this wave of AI is the most transformative technology since the internet, and the company needs to move faster with fewer people to stay competitive. Those layoffs, they also gutted Amazon's gaming division, shutting down most of its in-house development, and cuts hit both its AI shopping teams and even Amazon's high-margin ad business. And guys, there's more to come. Additional cuts are expected in January.
Yeah, Mac, it's hard not to read through the lines here and see that maybe vibe coding is potentially replacing some of those engineers that comprise, as you say, 40% of those recent layoffs. Mackenzie Sagalos, thanks so much.
It is time now for a news update. Contessa Brewer has that for us. Contessa.
Hi, Leslie. President Trump's controversial birthright citizenship restrictions go before the Supreme Court today. The High Court will meet in private to weigh the president's order, declaring that children born to parents who are in the U.S. illegally or temporarily cannot be considered American citizens. The justices could announce as early as Monday if they will hear the president's appeal of a lower court ruling that struck down that order. The U.S. is reportedly threatening to cut intelligence sharing and weapon supplies to Ukraine as it pressures Kyiv into accepting a U.S.-brokered peace deal with Russia. Two people familiar with the matter tell Reuters the U.S. wants Ukraine to sign a framework by next Thursday. The 28-point plan reportedly would require Kyiv to cede additional territory, and it would bar Ukraine from joining NATO. And an original copy of the first Superman comic from 1939 was sold at auction for $9 million. That is the highest price ever paid for a comic book. Three brothers found this incredibly rare copy when cleaning out their late mother's attic. The previous record for a comic book was $6 million. I mean, this is why maybe it doesn't pay, guys, to just outsource it all to junk.com.
And thanks to Mom for not throwing it away.
Really?
That was the key, yes. Contessa, thanks. Contessa Brewer. The CEO of trading and crypto platform Webull is coming up next, just reporting results, how this drop in Bitcoin and the fears around the AI trade might impact volumes. Shares are under a little pressure now, down more than 5% in a tape that's been flirting with the flat line, but S&P now up 36.
Wow, Habibi, a new high. Everything perfect. Yalla. Still so fucking slow. I know. But I need to eat this protein, dog. Is there any more propaganda?
But we are seeing a lot of Americans go to Canada, and I am curious how much, and this is going to come in further reports, how much of the Canada move is a reflection of the World Cup next year. There's a lot of people going to Vancouver, for instance, for the World Cup. I'll actually be there during the World Cup, but not going to the World Cup.
Why? It's like a billion people are going to be there.
We might be doing a very family-friendly cruise to Alaska.
Nice.
It just works out that that's around the same time as the World Cup.
It was bad timing.
It was bad time. All right. Talk to me. This is when I go to Aruba, we go to an all-inclusive.
Aruba.
How come I didn't know about this all-inclusive thing when I had 4 little kids? I mean,
were they a thing back then?
I don't know, but I mean, I would get the bill, which would be 5 inches thick, with like smoothies and chicken fingers and all that kind of crap that they'd eat throughout the day. 4 kids, man. If I knew about the all-inclusive, that would have been a savior for me. What are people doing when are they willing to still pay up for travel? Because I still hear people going to Europe and stuff like that. I mean, they're not going to Poughkeepsie, they're going to Paris and things.
Yeah, I mean, Japan is certainly a popular destination.
Strong dollar there.
Yeah, very much increased. Italy has increased. We're seeing among the upper income level, Portugal and Spain as popular destinations. Yep. And I think probably what's even more interesting is onboard spending for cruises.
You're right. It is push-up time
to have momentum at the moment. I think where we're watching is when that onboard spending shifts, and then the cruise lines, for example, don't get that gravy for cash flow. And to your point, Paul, I mean, even though you have something called all-inclusives, even though you have the cruise lines, that they all are considered these package deal, what every company is doing, and we're talking the rental car companies, Avis is doing this too, obviously the airlines, is they're all doing these premium products, these, you do different tiers of products, so the add-ons, so you can get the base level, which is really the skeleton package, but anyone from cruise lines to theme parks to some extent, to the all-inclusives, to the airlines, to the rental car companies are all segmenting to give, the lower income consumer the ability to say that they traveled, and the higher income consumer the ability to travel luxury.
And in terms of the add-ons, what are these add-ons? Are they, things that they used to offer for free and now charge you for?
For some of it is. So you know, a good example I have is, anecdotally, I know that some of the cruise lines that used to not charge to get people into the center of a city, say in Europe, you're on a European cruise, they used to give that for free. Now they say, no, you have to be a part of one of our, you know, expeditions, one of our excursions in order to get that for free. Otherwise, we charge you $20 to get into the center of town in you know, Czechoslovakia.
Closed on the forever home. I love it.
Excuse me.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. 2026 fixed income market outlook conference. What is it? When is it?
So it is December 4th. It's a fantastic event that we do every year. The lineup is incredible. We have quite the list of speakers. We have Eric Adelberg as moderator. We have Dave Havens as moderator. It's a really just amazing show of force among BI and external clients who have spoken and some who haven't spoken before, and it's always a good time.
All right.
If you're in the area, you need to sign up and come because we're starting to get a little bit packed. So if you want a spot, you got to sign up now.
Thinking about the bond market. Bond market delivered some great returns for investors in 2025. So if you want to think about the opportunities in the bond market, come to this tournament conference December 4th. You can sign up somewhere on the Bloomberg terminal.
Somewhere on the Bloomberg.
I have no idea.
It's there.
Jody Laurie, Senior Credit Analyst for Bloomberg Intelligence, joining us live in our Bloomberg Interactive Broker Studio. S&P 500 up 34. That's 0.5%. That's better. The Dow's up 350. That's 0.75%. And the Nasdaq's up 63 points. That's 0.75%. This is Bloomberg.
To Webull.
Why is it that retail likes volatility? Is that a newer trend, or is that something that has been kind of made possible by companies such as Webull and many of your competitors?
A little bit of both, right?
Yeah, so high ticker is fully maxed out.
They love,
and then a couple more of those year-to-date lagger staples are really gassing. Tech not as much.
Constantly chasing the biggest movers on the day and constantly looking for that speculative opportunity to make real alpha in their portfolio.
So a couple of the weak ones are lagging still, but not even fucking core weave went up.
Couple different reasons.
There you go.
We just went public in April.
That's what I said. Let's wait till they close, and then we'll see where we're at. And then you're gonna do your thing.
Right. So all shares are now tradable since October 8th. Outside of that, we've only reported 3 quarters. Mind you, every quarter showed profitability and growing profitability every single quarter. We'll continue to show growing profitability going forward, continue to execute on our goals of expanding geographically, expanding into new products.
Yeah, man, I don't know if locked in got too big, but I think some of y'all forgot the meaning of it. So happy birthday, man. I mean, I'm excited for you guys, but
you mentioned the new
locked in, the locked in guys. Are we gonna have to make a double locked in?
One of the situations where everybody can kind of grow together, or do you plan to really capture share from some of the other marketplaces out there?
So I've said this before on this show. This is the most exciting environment ever that I have been in this industry now for 26 years. And I have never seen a regulatory environment being very comfortable with new products, whether it's crypto related, whether we talk about prediction markets. So I think it's a mix of taking advantage of new product to attract a whole new addressable market with customers and using these new products to re-engage customers that may have gone dormant. So I think you're going to start to see some separation of platforms like Webull that are embracing new technology, they're embracing new products that's going to start separating and leading our upside.
You mentioned new products, new technology. You've got an AI product, right?
Correct.
What's it called, Vega?
Vega.
What does it do?
Well, Vega's named after the brightest star in the Northern Hemisphere, right? Sailors would guide their ships by it historically. It does a lot of things. It's a virtual trading assistant. Not only is it able to analyze your portfolio in intraday risk, telling you where potential risks lie, it's also giving you insight into implied volatility in options contracts, right? Where is their opportunity? It's summarizing news flow. Today's retail investor has more information than they've ever had, whether they're watching shows like yours on CNBC, whether they're listening to podcasts, whether they're going through Reddit channels. And sometimes it's just like drinking through a fire hose.
Sure.
This AI technology consolidates that information and makes it easily digestible for retailers, making more actionable.
Is it actual tradable ideas, or I mean, what is insight?
We're not to the idea generation yet.
Right.
Skirting the line of recommendation, but I am confident in time you are going to start seeing a bit more AI doing that. And I do truly believe that AI is going to revolutionize investing in the future.
Does AI have a fiduciary duty? I mean, what is the accuracy and what are kind of the regulatory guardrails around something like this? Because, I mean, most of the models, they're pretty accurate, but not 100%. I just wonder if someone's putting their own money to work in the market based on some of the recommendations or based on the ideas, you want it to be probably 100% accurate, right?
Well, everything has risks associated. Whether you're giving customers the opportunity to look at different bond portfolios, there's risks associated with bond portfolios, as we all know. So nothing is going to be 100% reliable. And what we're working on, we're working with the regulators, we're working with our compliance teams to make sure that the AI returns that customers are getting in their feedback is not only addressable, but also reliable, using as many sources as possible, and most importantly, showing where those sources are coming from for the customer.
High ticker is 5 minutes now. You're slowing down a little bit, but it's everything. Everything value, everything. Even tech is going up, though. This time you do got Core Weave and other ones that were beaten down.
I think everyone has
damn
a
Oracle,
different
they're still pretty
angle on
weak,
what
though.
their AI wants to do for their specific customer base or their specific platform. Webull is a more aggressive platform when it comes to sophisticated traders. We're seeing our traders trade a lot more than a typical trading platform, and so our AI model is specifically skewed towards showing opportunity for active traders.
How many average trades a day, roughly?
Average trades a day in terms of shares, in terms of notional, probably doing about 3.5 billion in notional a day in equities, trading about 3 million.
It sounds so scripted. Well, yeah, man. Maybe the guy on the Webull was right on the AI. Maybe you were using their AI. Oh, excuse me. This is the best velocity you've had. I hope it continues. Just watch out for the wall, but at least you're now moving a little. You're back to the NASDAQ level of the your boy, what was his name? Fed Jefferson? Or Williams? Artificial investing. Yeah, I mean, the accuracy is the key. And again, I like what they said about ideas. Russell is up 2% right now. So that's word to the year-to-date laggers and some of the slower ones. Again, Russell got murdered in the last couple of days here during this whole little fiasco. But again, I think you need a little bit more support out of like bigger tech. But again, NVIDIA just already recovered like what, 3% right there? So that's holding up. But yeah, they're all, I mean, everything that's like that was beaten down is doing very well. But then it is also getting back to some of the prices they were at. Some slowed down more than others. I mean, where's healthcare? Yeah, healthcare is ripping it, dude. That one was a good one. Even UNH, XBI. Yeah, those are all going. Merck. So again, this feels like last week, 2 weeks. You guys remember it was that rotation. So we called it in the morning. I was telling you, just keep your eyes out for those because it was like tech was being very deceptive in the SPY. But look, you're getting one of those days where equal weight's about by 1.6 right now. So a very good day for equal weight. It's a lot better. It was at 0.6, I think, when I told you that. So yeah, that was the move right there. I'm not against it. I like it. A long term Jamaica. Come on, you could say some of the 10%. Even CNC. Oh, real estate too. That one held up. So not bad. Again, if you don't have to get caught up in the tech stuff, you could have even got some other ones. We'll see where they're at by the end of the day. And then that's it. I love Webull. I have to ban you now. I don't like it when people talk about my loves, you know, like the love of my life. So yeah, I can take offense to that. So just if that sends the message to anybody else. But yeah, you can't expose me like that, man. So, unfortunately, that's going to be $4.99. And now you can't ask me a question in volatility. I know. I'm sorry. Well, remember, after this week, you get the good seasonality. So you do get a lot better. This was the slow week. And then we wrap it up. It's funny because the good volume comes in during the holidays. But yeah, I mean, if it's going to be there, but you just got to get this, you got to shake off the AI, the credit, the social problems. Hopefully you could deal with the bigger AI issues next year. And then, yeah, it's going to be there, but it's all going to be bumpy. Everything is going to be very bumpy. And if we don't hit a new high in the next couple of weeks, or even wherever, I don't care when, but if you can't hit a new high, this is going to be very 2018-esque. So that's the sad part. But like I said, I wouldn't be afraid of it. You guys, I hope you took some of the opportunity there, and even then the value, any sort of rotation there, those are good for you. And then again, I've been holding them. I didn't sell them early this time. I kept all the value ones. We made earlier flips on the last week, but I actually held them this time. I don't see that Broadcom, though. I left money on the table there. But now it's coming back a little. So watch out now. See, because SPY's kind of slowing down. But all the other names, all the Russell, Lager, all that, I could say it over and over again. But now just watch what any of the tech does. Wingstop, Dexcom. But yeah, you're probably just going to go in waves. And then the red kit, that's why I said, if you're going to follow the SPY, you're going to feel it. You didn't capture the velocity. The velocity is in the staples. The velocity is in the healthcare. Again, if everybody rotates there, then it'll slow down, but I still think it's not. Car, even Avis? Rent a car for Avis. My mama used to say only Jesus could save us. Hey, long term, I know I act a fool, but I'll be gone till November. I got 10% to do. I said long term, what? Long-term stocks. God, show me the way. The market maker trying to break me down. Long-term walks with me, with me, with me. You know what the long-term is? Low in value. The value might jack your portfolio. The value might jack your necklace. Somebody tell Wall Street who Josh Ye West is. I walk through the long-term of the value of y'all the other day laggers. Top flow, the gains alone will leave you breathless. Try to catch it, kinda hard. Getting choked by NVIDIA, yeah, and then check the record. They be asking this question, harassing, arrest us. Saying Josh likes Weeble for breakfast. Y'all like Weeble for breakfast? What's the basis? We ain't going nowhere without 10% shit. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, I got into it a little bit too much. Hey, long term, I know I act a fool. So yeah, all these little gaps are little like stop and go on the SPY. It's gonna be with the tech kind of just doing whatever they want. But yeah, velocity and value, velocity and Russell, it's there. It's all the middle cap ones. Notice the morning was the big cap ones, and then except for Walmart because they went 7% yesterday. But then yeah, all the other ones are chilling. Yeah, I want to go to Miami. I feel bad. My girl gets mad because like, one, it's Miami, but then like, I want to go and travel overseas this holiday, but like, I really don't want to. Like, I told her this yesterday. I feel like flying overseas is a humiliation ritual. I said, what do you mean? Why do I gotta pay $10,000 to fly there? And then I gotta spend like 15 hours to fly there. And then I'm like, I don't even want to go there that much. Like, for what? And then I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm like, I feel like I don't like spending money if I don't like really want to do it. But I was like, I would much rather go to Miami. And then I said they have spas, they got everything. But yeah, that's why I don't like flying overseas. That's why I don't do it. I'm kind of down to just go to Cabo. That's a plus 4 hours, 3 hours. But I don't know yet. I don't know where I'm gonna go yet. I gotta decide soon. I hate Park City. Park City is nice, like if you like the ski town vibes, but it's very overpriced to ski, let alone just like it's terrible service. Everything's packed, and I hated Park City. I would go to Colorado. You'll like Colorado, or you're gonna spend Aspen money, and you're better off in Aspen. That's how I like it though. I preferred Aspen. My girl, I told my girl, I said the only reason I go to Switzerland is because I told my girl this. I said, you're the only thing in Europe that I like. I said, I don't like anything in Europe except you. I don't know. What do you mean? I said, do you know how America started? They didn't want to be in Europe, in Jesus. So I said, yeah, man, nah, I'm out. But no, I still might go. I want to go to Switzerland, but I'm really not trying to fly that long, dude. Alrighty, high ticker again on short-term velocity, all velocity. This is like how you were looking on the downside yesterday. All right, man, welcome to your expiration. Any staple should have been working. Hey, long term, I know I act a fool. Long term walks with me. The long term, my jacket necklace, the long term. MSTR, gold big green, everything's coming. Oh yeah, that's a really weird. Okay, so I think somebody got their money back. Yeah, even fucking gold is running up. That's good now, because if gold holds up, even if you get a little bit of fear, if it doesn't die, that'll be very nice. No, that one's not bad. I think, again, people are feeling something's chilling out. Like I'm saying, because yesterday people could have been buying it out of fear. It was both good and weird. It didn't go down yesterday, but again, you guys see this. Russell is up 2.5%. This is what I was trying to. I told you guys right off the bat. I said just don't be deceived. Look at the equal weight. So yeah, your equal weight's almost recovered all of yesterday. That's it. The only thing down is tech and all of these other ones, man. Hold all the riches, experiencing the world is priceless. I don't disagree with you, but I really love America. Like, I've been around America. I've been to Asia. I've been to a lot of places, but yeah, they're not really that cool. I only want to go to Japan. That's what I might go to Japan, because that's what I told. I want to go to Japan or China. I like the cultures. I think they're historical. They're fascinating. Like, I like the other parts of Asia too, but yeah, like I don't want to go, like, there's nothing in Europe I want to see. Like, that's it. I said maybe Italy because of the food and the damn like cars, but even then I'm not really sold on the idea of it. Yeah, I dude, I believe that America's beautiful. The world is very, very beautiful, but I don't. There's certain things where it's, yeah, I don't think you got to go that crazy. They're going to Japan. I fuck with Japan, dude. I want to go. That's where I might go instead. Because my girl wanted to go, but then my girl, she's kind of down. Because then that way, because like I don't ski and shit. I don't want to ski. I can't afford to ski right now. If I get hurt skiing, bro, I'm not going out like that. Fuck that. He was doing so well, and then he wanted to slide down a mountain and got fucked up. Like, no, fuck that, dog. I could jump and shit still. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't get injured this year. I'm not trying to do that. No, bro, I can't. I gave it up after I did it last year, remember? I skied and I said, fuck this. I kept falling and shit, and then it started hurting. And I was like, I already know where this is going to end up. I said, I'm done. I'm not down with it at all. All right, bro, you're ripping equal weight. I hope you got any sort of value. You'll be fine. And then if that goes good enough, reverse panic. Think about it. You remember how Apple was barely red about to go, or barely green about to go red? Look at Nvidia, it's just reverse, but the real money is in the value. Now, you already missed out on like half of it, but yeah, equal weight is pretty much back to where all the drama started yesterday. Well, no, again, do you guys see it though? Like I was telling you from the morning, this was all very deceptive. The SPY is not showing you. The SPY had no velocity. That's better, but it was everybody else, individual names, or just like value stocks. So again, we've been having some of those plays. Those ballooned there a little bit, and then any of the tech plays are still washed. I'm glad I monetized the put a little bit too early, but that still did good. I added a couple of puts, but even then, I said let's wait till the end of the day, and then that way we could really shoot. The website, it's slick charts, but like, can I be real with you guys? Because I asked the first guy who asked me today in the locked in chat, I said, you really don't know what I just showed? Like, this is why, like, I hope you guys understand why I'm hard on you sometimes. Not because I want to, I like being nice, it's way easier, but do you guys understand that I have brought in this chart up every single day for the last 2 weeks? They're almost 3 now. Like, you understand that, right? So imagine everything that's ripping. You had little Egyptian boy telling you to be very well aware of all of these. You guys know that, like, do you see what I'm saying? So, like, respectfully, I think you're fucking around. And if you don't know this yet, and I'm seeing you, and you're even in the locked in, I'm kind of like, you're fucking around. Like, literally, I'm about to ban you the more I talk about it. Do you understand? So, like, I'll give the other guys a break, but don't tell me you're fucking locked. What are you doing? How do you not know? Again, you don't even have to use this website, but this idea and the concept and the familiarity. I actually, every time I brought this up, wouldn't I tell you guys I'm begging you? Look, imagine how humbling that is. I am begging you all. I was begging for the last 14 days, begging people, begging them to take a second to pay attention to this. That's unreal. So yeah, I'm glad though, because like I said, I'm not really too bothered. I think you're fucking around. You're playing yourself. You're playing the community. What the fuck are you doing? But I like it because every time I get to bring this up, even in correction, somebody is going to hear this who needs to hear it. That's what happened last time. Y'all were playing around, but a couple people learned. But I'm pretty sure you were there that day. That's why Now I'm starting to think you're fucking around. So I'm not too pleased with that. So you know, you better have a good next message, because I'm going through your chat facts. I'm actually not fucking with your chat facts. Okay, go to the other chat. Okay, I don't want to see you in here in the locked in. Otherwise, I'm gonna ban you if it's not fully locked in, brother. I need better than that shit. I need a lot better than that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you had familiarity with that list, you could have picked any one of those names. Any name that was down 30% has probably gone up 5% in the last 2 days, let alone the week. Well, you don't even have to go to Slick Charts. You could go anywhere. You guys could go get this however you want to get it. But like I'm saying, this was something that right when I noticed it, there was a very big opportunity, and I did make that clear. And this is the same, and some of y'all will even get mad at me for no watch list, no this, no that. But then when it comes down to the important thing that was going to really give you good info and a good opportunity, y'all just fucking blinders on that one. So I don't play with me. That was a locked in question. So those of you on the other chat, ironically enough, I'm not talking to any of you, and I do hope somebody benefits off of it. But even on a day like today, you should have had a couple of names you could have went to, and then you should understand this idea. And like, look, people have been pouring money into this while everybody's making all this noise about everything else. And no matter what, whether it was really bad or scary, good, historic, those names are fucking solid. And again, if we get any sort of shift, those names are solid. And that's what I wanted you all to understand and learn it at a good time, a good price, a good everything. You see what I'm saying? Not when it's too late, not when it's too high, not that you have to wait for somebody, but all I wanted was familiarity. So if you're asking me how to get familiar with it this late in the game with it, like I said, there's still some opportunity there, but I do think you're playing around. And I'm not here to just chat with you to chat with you. I want you to be effective. I want you all to have some real results, because anybody who does listen, they're doing some great things. But that type of attitude and missing the easy ones, I don't even want to be around it. That's just bad luck. Like, you understand? I don't even want that in my vicinity. That's bad juju. That's bad vibes. Miss the hard ones. Don't miss the easy ones, please. You know? What's the square root of 97 plus 2 parentheses x plus y underscore? I don't even know algebra, dog. I'll go. You could fuck up on that one, but 2 plus 2, you better get that 100% of the time. ALGN. But yeah, you're still gassing though. Look, this is one. Now you have Amazon helping you out, but this is still all those value ones. I'm a big fan of it, man. I hope it did help. Masu, when that just come out? We're close to a decision to raise rates. I can't say what month, but we're close. AstraZeneca. Unch. Oh, I burped. Excuse me. Man, it's the same setup. That equal weight murdered it. That's what I'm saying. Equal weight's back to yesterday's open. That's already recovered it. So SPY's only back to the lows of like, what? You were already down like 1% at that point? So yeah, there's a big rotation there that's occurred. And again, you sniffed it out right off. You guys sniffed it out here. That's what I'm saying. You should have had that, but even on the long term. And now if some of them are moving off the lows, you got to go to your next set. And like I'm saying, just be prepared, and it's not going to stay there. You know, we'll get even a deposit here very soon, but then, yeah, you got to be very familiar with that list. Reflect on it. Well, they said they're doing good. Well, we'll find out. Because again, they lowered the capacity towards the end, and then that's where it ended. Caesars, I think there was earnings on some of these. Or the other day, Zelensky says he spoke with NATO rep. Pfizer's up 4. Jeez. Yeah, bro. All of these. It's a big day for staples and any of those laggers. Even the Dabe, for crying out loud. Well, Habibi. That's it. Just get ready for the end of the day. But now there's one thing on my mind right here. Because I guess you're 1%, 1-1. The equal weight is really good. The Russell is really good. But like we said, we got to get into close because we still have a lot of time. But if this flips, dog, that's going to be terrible. And that's still in the cards. Why? Because that's what happened yesterday. But that was more off the game. FDA clears Merck's Keytruda Pfizer PacDev combo for cisplatin in eligible MIBC. I don't know what that is, but Merck and Pfizer. Yeah, your bonds have not really followed the yen here for a minute. They've both been weird. I think you could blame your boy Besant. Morgan Stanley, part of lawmakers probe. B of A and Morgan Stanley. Are? Is it raining? I think it is. Conagra? Even Conagra's up 3? Oh, man. Yeah, dude, the big tech names are really lagging, but everybody else killing it. Again, even financials for crying out loud. Even CoreWeave came back up. Okay, no, I'm not mad I sold the Broadcom. I left a decent amount there. Dude, the high ticker is still going, so again, I don't know, you might be able, I'm tempted to crowd it now. I'm just going to ride out the other ones, but you still might have some. Where's Whirlpool? Yeah, Whirlpool's up 7. That's crazy. 6. All thanks to Bradley Frizzle and the Peach. Oh, man. I mean, even Bitcoin's coming up. But yeah, dude, it's all these staples, and they're just going away until they don't. It'd suck if it stopped. So look, even XLP is chilling. Just because those big ones, they took a little bit of a break, but that does look good. I mean, big tech might move at this point. Pretty much any drops in big tech is going to look like these. But then as long as the other 400 keep going, like we were talking about in the morning, you had 400 up, but they just have to like double up to really get you some strength, and that's what they're doing. So, yeah, you only have 2 names red on the Dow, Microsoft and Walmart. And then Walmart was the only one pretty much leading yesterday. I have to mute it for a second. Give me a sec.
And that's like could be a PE level, could be a price to revenue. There is none of that here because there's no use case. There's no use case.
I don't want to that part's true.
Oh shit.
Jumped about 700 points. I'm looking at the S&P and the NASDAQ. Both of them are higher, above 1%. The S&P up about 1.33%. Don't mean to interrupt, but Josh, I want to come back over to you. How should we view this right now? We're going into next week. It's a holiday week. It's about 3.5 days of trading. How do you view this very small move to the upside compared to the week-to-date action and going into the weekend? I mean, give me your take on it.
I just think today you're undoing some of the damage from yesterday, and the most important thing, which we have pointed out a lot over the last 10 years, and it's only become more true, it's a really big mistake to look at the tape on a day like yesterday and think that what you're watching is human beings making a conscious decision that they no longer like Amazon, or it's Jane Street. You understand? It's Citadel. It's Susquehanna. These are quantitative trading firms that are responding to and reacting to signals that the human mind cannot possibly comprehend because they were created by computers and AI. There's not always a narrative that perfectly fits with, and today is the reverse of that. So today, does everyone's opinion change 180 degrees from yesterday? Absolutely not. There are machines trading against other machines that are themselves programmed by a third type of machine. Stop trying to take your market narrative and write it in pencil, not pen. Free advice. Free advice.
He's totally right, though. The machines can pick up on the syntactic intent that Williams had this morning and totally pivot it like that and trade way faster than you or I could ever think about doing it.
So it's like a Tropic Thunder moment. Is the dude who looks like the other dude who looks like the other dude type of thing. So really quick, ahead of this mini rally we're seeing in Williams, Wells Fargo came out with this 2026 outlook. A lot of hope in the first half. They say bubble in the second half. They put out their year-end price target for 26. It's 7,800, about 15% higher than we are today. They say they're going to be overweight tech, energy, financials, and materials. They say AI will ultimately lead the market higher in the second half, kind of playing off the theme you guys are talking about. And also Fed balance sheet expansion starting in April could drive the sharpest rebound in liquidity conditions. Weiss, I'm going to come back over to you. Is that the issue here? We need a little bit more liquidity?
Well, you know, Josh pointed out about the algos. It's believed that they're more than 50% of trading. And then when you take a look at what index funds own, that's also about 50% of, I mean, they're not to be added, of course, 50% of every public equity. So there is somewhat of a lack of liquidity in the market under conventional standards, but there's still more than enough liquidity in the market for any outcome. And it really depends on the underlying equity where the liquidity is. In the big cap stocks, there's no shortage of liquidity on any day there is, and that's really what we're talking about. So to me, I agree again with Josh. That's where the money's going to go because of the fortress balance sheets, the gross aspects, and eventually, I think investors are going to realize that while they all have massive capex that they've talked about, up to $100 billion, they're not going to be able to deploy all that because you're not going to have the energy, you're not going to have the skilled labor, the electricians, et cetera, that are able to build out the data centers. But primarily it's energy. So to me, it's going to be like a massive stock buyback gets announced and never gets filled, and then they announce another buyback and incorporate the prior buyback into that. So once that reality hits, I think we'll be fine.
So does that mean you should buy energy right now? I mean, the idea that energy prices have to go up, if there's going to be a squeeze, right?
No, because it's electricity. Because it's electricity.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to be everything. It's going to be nuclear. It's going to be natural gas. I mean,
to build on that point, though,
they're building.
To build on that point that Steve is making, there are physical constraints in the physical world that will make it so that every one of these capex announcements isn't as good as signing a contract and sending an ACH wire. GE Vernova is telling the street that they are now fully booked up through 2028. So if you come to them with a project today, that's where that project is going. Think about how long from now 2028 is. We'll have a new president, maybe, in the White House. So this idea that like somebody could tweet something about the capex of their company and just will it into existence, you need transformers to be built. These are house-sized assets that convert energy into electricity. Like it's a very long game. It's not as simple as, hey, we're gonna do this and then it just gets done. And what that means is it's like a backlog of earnings beats far out into the future, provided it continues. Because you don't know when these things hit, when the money gets spent. We're dealing with atoms in the physical world. It's not Twitter.
All right, that's a fair point.
You know, the other point is that we're involved in a company that makes linear generators, and that company's been around for less than a decade. But you have no idea for all these technologies, including small nuclear reactors, what it takes to build them at scale. It's phenomenally tough with any CapEx technology, hard technology plus software. So that's where it's going to fall down. Then finally, I think it's critically important, do you really think that politicians are going to not push back on data centers in their backyard when they've got all their constituents saying, I'm not supporting this through higher electrical prices, particularly when I've been under pressure from inflation going forward. So we're seeing that play out.
I mean, that is an interesting point. The energy constraints are obviously a very important point. Where's it all going to come from? And then there is some questions about regulatory, especially when it comes to nuclear. We talked about Constellation Energy this week getting that $1 billion loan from the administration. But you're right. There's going to be some people concerned about what used to be 3 Mile Island starting back up. And I mean, maybe rightfully so. I mean, after the catastrophe that happened there. By the way, we're about 17 minutes in the show. We're going to talk about NVIDIA right now. It might be a bull market record. We wait 17 minutes to get into it. Everybody owns it. Kevin, I'm going to come over to you. NVIDIA is still lower right now. It's down about 1/3%, 0.5% right now, but the markets are higher. Also, we saw a great earnings report and the markets moved lower. What does that say about NVIDIA? Is it time to change the way we look at it as a potential market mover on earnings or a bellwether of where the market's going directionally?
How sad is that when you have earnings that were that positive across the board and when the guidance was so good that the stock sells off? You and I were talking in the morning when the stock was up, and here it is down again for a second day in a row. I would look at this as opportunities to add to it. I think Josh nailed it this morning at the open with respect to all of these companies that are down, that are going to attract money. Maybe there's tax selling. Maybe there's reasons people need to take profits here. You know, you've got wins in NVIDIA. and so to the extent that you're going to take profits there and offset it, kind of makes sense. But from a fundamental and a foundation standpoint, is this the bellwether that'll lead the market higher? Probably will continue to do so until it proves otherwise.
Seach, you feeling bullish on this one? I mean, Wells Fargo came out, maintained an overweight rating, price target 265. I mean, looking at where the stock's trading right now, it's trading under 180 right now.
And at a 26 times forward PE. It rarely gets down to these levels from a valuation perspective. We've added it 2 times. We could never own this company for so long because it didn't meet our valuation relative to growth screens. We bought it several times. We're still slightly underweight NVIDIA, but have a very big position. If you look at what the opportunity is in this company, I suspect they're going to continue to deliver on expectations for a very long time. I think what was interesting is markets were very much pivoting because of the backdrop, not so much as it related to earnings and what NVIDIA did, but when you get from companies that are delivering good earnings and starting to sell off, it is changing the narrative in the market. Hopefully that's not too long that happens, but you could see there was this desire to deleverage. You had Tom Lee on the show, I think, Frank, and he was talking about what was going on in crypto and the deleveraging there that kind of created an interesting lead for some of these other tech companies, these risk-on companies to follow. I think these are different worlds. I also think there's been too many parallels, and you saw it in these earnings, of NVIDIA to Cisco in the late 90s, where they were taking pieces of some of their customers.
Vendor financing.
Yeah, vendor financing. You know what? This is an important business for them to get this data infrastructure built out. I feel like we are in a very different environment relative to late 99. Sure, there's things that rhyme all the time. However, these companies that are driving this are very profitable, very solid balance sheets, and I think are going to be well supported.
Kevin, I'm going to come back to you in a second to talk about some of the other things that are going on that are kind of reminiscent not only of the .com but also of the great financial crisis. But before we do that, Josh, coming over to you, looking at NVIDIA, week to date down 5% again after those fantastic earnings. Is this a viable dip, or do you need to wait?
I mean, I can't buy it. My average cost is single digits, and I've held it forever. But like, if I were not invested in the stock and I had no position, and I was like wondering, how did I miss out? What do I do? Blah blah blah. I'd pull the trigger at 180. I think the stock gets back over 200. We already saw a sneak preview of that a few weeks back. Nothing in that earnings report or in the guidance tell me that things are not even better than they were the last time it was above 200. And from my perspective, I think it's inevitable. So I would not be afraid to buy it here.
So Kevin, I know something you were looking at. We're talking about some of, I guess, the hand-wringing when it comes to the AI trade. Report out, hedge against an AI crash emerges as Oracle credit default swaps. That market's just exploding right now, and that's kind of reminiscent of what we saw back at the great financial crisis. Vendor financing, Seach is talking about, CDS is now. Is that just a really troubling sign to you as an investor?
Well, it's certainly like a dirty word that you want to stay away from. You're reminiscing about the 2000s, the .com bubble. You're bringing in words from the 2007-8 great financial crisis.
Well, if we're going to talk about vendor financing, we got to talk about all the things going on.
I think it's fair. Now, the challenge was you saw Oracle go up $100 on signing a deal. Josh, you mentioned ACH versus, an IOU. These things are really problematic when you think about who's going to be paying the bill. Will these companies be in business to foot it? So the hedge funds that were out there shorting the AI trade and using these collateralized debt securities to do so made sense. And I don't know if it's oversold with respect to Oracle. We're a little underweight. We've got it covered 30% of the position. One thing I'm hearing
Better said its sales came in stronger than expected, bucking the trend across the majority of retail and restaurant chains. Right now, we've also got Ross Stores after earnings up by 7.5%. Again, recapping here, the Dow, the S&P, NASDAQ, all rebounding on this Friday. We are on track for a losing week. For on-demand news 24 hours a day, subscribe to Bloomberg News Now, wherever you get your podcasts. And back we go to Washington. Once again, your host, here he is, Joe Matthew.
Okay, Charlie, think about everything Charlie Pellet just said, and we're basically the reverse of what we had this time yesterday. This has been a remarkable recovery. If this thing holds until 4 o'clock, there's going to be some fun reading to do a little bit later on. S&P 500 up over 1%. Same for the NASDAQ. The Dow's up over 1.5%, 700 points. These are going to make for great headlines later, and they'll say, you know, retailers, they couldn't avoid the opportunity to buy the dip. Bitcoin is still lower. It's down about $2,000, back above 85,000. You got a VIX of 24. That's not exactly low. So we're trying to figure out what in the world is going on and what happened in the last 24 hours that has brought us all the way back to where we were feeling pretty good about things yesterday morning after the NVIDIA report. Now, some people will tell you it's comments from the Fed. The dovish Fed will be cutting rates next month, so don't worry, because a 0.25 percentage point is going to make that much of a difference for you right now. Stephen Myron talked about it, even against the backdrop of no data. Did you hear they're canceling another CPI? We didn't get October jobs, and so you have a dovish Fed, according to Myron. Here's what he said on Bloomberg Surveillance.
The lack of data doesn't mean that we don't have a forecast. We did have a forecast. All it gives us is opportunities to falsify our forecast. And there hasn't been anything in the data, in the news, in media stories, in private sector data, alternative data that's available to us, that would make us think that the forecast is somehow nullified and there's been a big shock to it. So if anything, all the information that we've got in the interim since September FOMC has inclined to the dovish side.
Inclined to the dovish side, time to buy, right? A 0.25 percentage point. That'll change everyone's lives. The thing is, when you read market coverage from yesterday, depending on where you look, you might hear about it was concerns that the Fed wouldn't cut, right? That's why everyone decided to sell their retirement plan yesterday over a 0.25 percentage point. They'll tell you that there are worries about the AI spend, that it's a bubble, circular investing. Everyone all woke up same morning after a glowing NVIDIA report and decided to sell.
No one talks about it.
There might be something else involved here, which is why we wanted to talk to Edward Harrison. The force...
Edward Harrison. All right. I just needed to mute it for a sec. Just needed a woo-saw. I'm... just needed to observe, man. Just needed to observe and woo-saw, you know. Call it a day. Call it a day. But yeah, it's not bad. I think the staples are great. They're great. Oh, I forgot about those. Yeah, those are even for next week. But yeah, man. If tech goes up, bonds are down now, so tech might come up. That'll really get you rallying, but keep in mind, Russell is up 3% right now. So yesterday was just the day to rotate. I mean, again, a lot of people thought it would rotate into tech, but I don't know. They keep even saying that it's up. But just keep in mind, like, you're still at yesterday's low, practically, one of them. But now equal weight is higher than yesterday. So then that was probably one of the greatest gifts right there for the staples. And there you have, again, individual would have been better. I hope you guys see why I've been saying that, up and down. Because if you buy individual names, they have been able to go. But as an index, they're going to kind of lag a little bit. See, well, there's a lot of things yesterday. Like I said, there was, anytime you've moved that historically, there has usually been a reason. And yeah, there isn't one. But yeah, any of these little bubbles, watch, is going to be tech. But as long as everything else keeps running, high ticker is slowing down a little bit. But healthcare especially, your XBIs are back up. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. They're like getting back up to the 100% again on the out of the monies. The near the monies are, anything near the money is now in the money. But my goodness. Well, Merry Chrism. And a happy long term. Oh, okay. Sorry. U.S. inflation traders to use untested fallbacks for missing CPI. I don't know, man. Putin received plan for Ukraine deal. I don't know why. The weird part is that's why I keep saying it's a game of chicken. Because, like, the Fed is really acting. Like, you know, like, I think some of you guys act sometimes. You got a good example. But Like, you know, it's like acting you haven't seen the 200 names that are down. You haven't seen us do that. You know, it's very simple. But it's like the real thing is that they're acting like they need the data. This is all just a elaborate extension of at the beginning of the year. I hope you guys see it. It's straight up like people are acting like they need the inflation data. Do you guys really need the inflation data to determine that inflation hasn't gone up? Yes, gasoline in California is up. Is there places getting clapped economically in some areas? Yes, that's what we were just talking about. But yeah, it's like, do you really need this data to confirm? That's the odd part, because even under Biden, the data they were like, it's good. You're like, no, it's not. It's terrible. And now vice versa. But that's just kind of the weird part about all. Just a lot of acting. I don't know. Everybody's kind of acting like something is going to emerge with it. But again, the whole deflation, you know, it's there, man. It's there. It's clapperooning. I received plan for Ukraine. I think it could be the basis for a final resolution. The text wasn't discussed with U.S. and Ukraine is against. I think he's playing a game again. He acting too, bro. 2025 should be the year of the Oscars. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's been acting, bro. No detailed discussion on new peace plan. Do you guys want to listen to Putin? Or should we just deny military orders? What? No? Okay. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know what you guys are into. Is this it?
Предложение президента Трампа и отказываются от этого. То и они, и европейские поджигатели войны должны понимать, что события, которые произошли в Купянске, будут неизбежно повторяться.
Don't be a fucking idiot and look at the 200 names that are down, because they keep going down, but now they're up. So that's the business. He says it's okay if you missed it, but quickly there will be another opportunity. Rule number 1, save 10%. He said, oh, I can't repeat that. The problem is you know the answer, but you're waiting for someone to tell you to do it. If you were diligently working, you'd have no problem. So, figure this out before the next year starts, and let's go through the list. I think he's going. I think they gave it to him. He's going through the whole He said year to date, he's doing the same thing. That's amazing. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't think there's a translated version. Where can you find the list? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a product from now on. You know, I gave it away for 2 weeks for free. But I'm going to turn it into a $5 course. And then you guys could buy it at this point. I think that's the only way you guys will do it. Because I can't believe it. Fucking the Russell's up 3% right now. Oh. Merc.
Destruction by their own drone.
These are all, dude, they have how many dog? Why is there so many restreams of Putin? Holy sh! I don't know, there's a different video.
People of Russia. The people of Russia are counting on us. Counting on you and expecting.
Why is he using this anime ass?
Let's get to work, Valery.
Let's get to work.
Please take the floor.
Dog, they got Putin fucking edits? This is crazy. Oh man, all right, I've already gone down this rabbit hole too much. Hello. We must fight diligently, get a long term, quickly. There's no turning back. You should make a free version with no ads, Tim, and you could sell it. Because they'll pay you for it at this point. I still wouldn't. You still have a lot of opportunity. All jokes aside, I would not fade that shit, man. Because like we said, everything I've been sharing with you though, I've had a longer time frame. So I am thinking like more next year and all that, but you know, it would serve you well to be prepared. And that's because that's what I said the first time. I said, man, you're going to look back one day and be like, oh damn, those really were there. Hello. We must fight. I feel like that's racist, right? But then you're allowed to be like really racist towards Russians. That's what I learned in the last 4 years. If you said anything like borderline, like controversial towards Russians, people were like, yeah. Like, why do they make them sound like that though? I feel like they frame Russia in such a, but then again, like, are you a Putin sympathizer? No, I have a Ukraine bumper sticker. Why are you getting mad at me? The fuck? I put it on every vehicle. You know that? But they still lit my Tesla on fire. But still, I said, why? All right, Nivda's in the green, you guys. So honestly, everything's going good. Google chilled out. A lot of medical. Tell me why. High. Wasn't there a headline on the boats? Tell me why. Positive tablet ongoing phase 1 trial. All right, man, another new high. Today's chill. Just wait till the end of the day. That's it. If the end of the day doesn't lead to a sell-off, you're gonna be fine. No, this whole morning was all about the staples. It was a rotation. Again, I'm glad we picked up on it early, but you're still being held down by tech. Some tech is doing good. It's doing a lot better from the morning, but generally the recovery was all in the value names. Value, year-to-date laggers, staples, medical, healthcare, biotechs. Those are the ones that really got the bid right now. They're killing it. Russell's almost 3%. Russell on the equal weight is higher than yesterday. So like, here's the equal weight. You're actually 20 points above where you opened, and wasn't yesterday a gap up? So yeah, technically you're about 100 points higher on the equal weight than where you closed on Wednesday. But now you're even higher than the gap up. This is, I think, getting into the pre-market. So yeah, it's very good. I'm actually shocked, but SPY doesn't reflect that because NVIDIA, Oracle, Broadcom, who else? Microsoft. Those are kind of lagging a little bit. And then one staple, Walmart, that one faded today after being the leader. But I still think it's fascinating, but unfortunately, you got your velocity, but not where you wanted it. And so you had an opportunity to pick up some in the morning, but yeah, I still think it's kind of weird. And remember, yesterday was a historical day. We did talk about it this morning, though. Usually those big the big turnarounds are actually bullish in the short term. But yeah, I'm really waiting now till the close, and then we'll see where it leads us. So watch here, because you see how it's going down? Watch if the mid-cap staples slow down, and then watch if the big-cap staples start to go up again. Like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, those types of beats. See what they start doing. And then J&J's just been running all day. See, Tim, I'll buy you Gemini, Tim. I'll buy you the pro version of Gemini if you ever get constrained in your coding. Because bro, I'm telling you, you're coming up with some cool shit, dude. That's why I like it. Keep doing it. Don't ban it. I don't know. I might start doing that for some of y'all. But you got to actually create something first. Because Tim spent 1 week on it, dude. I'm actually very impressed. You give him your API key. Dude, if you could play with it. Tim's been making games. And that's why I think it tracks. I feel like, Tim, you've always wanted to make some games, and now you can. And it's actually crazy, though, because, like, there's so many things you could do with it, and it's so much easier than you think. If you have cash coming in that you're not supposed to spend, but you'll hold for up to a year, any ideas on the best way to grow it? This sounds terrible, brother. What? Wait a minute. What the hell? You trying to do something? What do you mean you got cash that you're not supposed to spend, but then you want to hold it, but then you got to grow it? I think you need is this long term or what is it? I need more details. Otherwise, it sounds like you're trying to do something and not do something, and if it doesn't align, you might just lose it. So if it's a big amount of money, man, hold it for 30 days, 90 days minimum. And if I were you, I mean, I wish bond yields were higher, but you could still get a small return. But if it's not supposed to be used, I mean, you put it to grow it, then that's a different story. There's gonna, come with risk. That's why, like, the long term's good, because this is what I kept explaining with all of these names for some of you guys, that, like, you got to think about it, is that we're on a 10-year time frame. That's what I kept telling you guys with this list, because I'm like, dude, even Chipotle, even if it drops 20%, some of these names could drop another 20%, but guess what? We're not going to need to sell it in the next year or two. We're probably going to buy more of it. So if we don't have a liquidity need and we have a long time frame, you're going to be fine. But if you're telling me you get kind of put on like a time frame, and then it's like, I can't do this, I can't do that, but I want to grow it, you're going to take risk, and then you're not going to have the same safety and defense as the time in your favor, because things will go up, things will go down, but like I'm saying, you could use time to serve you and make sure that you won't need the money one day and then it backfires. You could make the Elijah Lilies, the shitty ones even went up. Spreads are wide, though. I don't know if it'll fill. It's over 200%, but I think you could get filled at 100. Money you need is cursed. Amen. Yeah. So yeah, man, just don't, if it's something you really can't spend and you need the money, do not gamble it. Do not try to grow it. Does that make sense? Take the amount that you don't need and try to grow that. And then we'll do a lot better with it. Does that make sense? Because I agree. If it's money you're not supposed to use, just part of the financial wisdom is learning to not use it. And that's going to help you. You are going to make money if you do that. But if you constantly use money you're not supposed to, you're going to fucking beat yourself up until you learn this lesson. So if I were you, I would find out how much, whether you throw it in the air and it disappears or not, use the amount of money you don't need, use that to grow. But even then, it's still not going to be sexy. It's going to be 10 years minimum, but because again, I can't do anything in a year. You know what I'm saying? But 4 or 5 years in a row, we could get you a down payment. That's what the long term shows. That's the part that everybody missed out on, unless they did it. Can we be real about it? Is that not what happened? How many people got discouraged, or they were like, what the fuck am I going to do with $2,000 in a year? Right? And it didn't seem like much. It really, really didn't. But then after a couple of years, it's 30 fucking grand. and then it grows. You saved now $2,000, $2,000, $2,000, $2,000, and then it grows. That's a whole different story. But in 1 year, and then it's like I need it, and then I'll end up needing it, and then I won't need it. It's not. What you're gonna try to make is like it won't even make sense, right? What are you gonna put down X amount to make a small amount, and then have all the risk, and then if you need it at the wrong time, it backfires. Not down. So if you could use an amount you don't need, you'll be fine. And if you do it in another way, I think you'll be great. Tesla sued over fatal Model 3 crash. That's even kind of how we've been like the last couple days. That's why I'm saying I've taken plays and they weren't really the best, but they were small. It's money, it's small money you don't need, and then if it works, it'll grow. And then the ones that hit have gone very well, and they'll turn into a bigger amount. So, yeah, that's all you got to do. Just be wise about it, and you'll be fine. ABVX takeover note. Didn't we get that one the other day? I think it's in a buyout. That looks odd. There's something. I remember this. All right, man. SPY hit another high. You should be focused. Staples on it. Dude, it hasn't over. Staples index hasn't moved. You could either go for the big ones that haven't lagged, but yeah, that'll probably happen later in the day. Otherwise, even Russell names, for crying out loud. Great advice. It's only great advice if you do it, brother. You know, that's why this whole year I have tried to be as direct as possible. Because I'm begging you. I'm begging all of you. You are going to serve your communities, your families, this community, your life, everything, if you do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Because go anywhere else, bro, and go on the internet, everything's going to tell you the contrary. And everything's going to tell you, do this, it don't matter. And you guys know the answers. I don't think you are foolish people. You know what I'm saying? Even when I made my mistakes in life, dog, especially with money, I don't think I was a fool. I just was being undisciplined. You understand? So that's all it is. I really encourage you guys to take the right thing and the wisdom, and it's objective, and I want you to use it in a disciplined manner. And that right there is all you need. And I'm telling you, it's going to be slow, but the joy, it's just like going to the gym. It's just like eating healthy. It's just like anything good in life. You're going to look back, and it's going to start off slow. It's going to be challenging. But then, the road is going to clear. And then it's going to be very, very bright. But we got to get to that point. And you're going to do that by taking the good advice, but using the discipline to follow through with it. You got to follow through. And don't give your money away, and don't fall for the traps, especially when you know them. So that's been the thing this year, man. That's why I've been trying to really, we got to burn the fence down, and you got to make a move. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, in a weird way, if I were you, are you ready for the other side of this great advice? You either do what I told you and play the wise card and do it the right way, and, you extend that timeline, or use a way less amount of money, the money you don't need. That's what you use. And you still use it on a long, slow, not sexy timeline. You're going to get everything you wanted. Otherwise, you know what you should really do? Fuck this bullshit. I'm going to play it halfway safe, halfway not safe. Let me fucking do this. Hell, go all in and fuck your shit up. Or at least you'll make a huge bag. You understand? At least you'll fail quicker and figure this out, and then you actually would have a better risk to reward. That's the other side of the coin. That's what I mean by burn the fence down. I would rather you have that and learn fast or learn slow, rather than kind of doing it in this slow manner and then trying to, like, you know, lukewarm. That's why Lord hates lukewarm. Go hot or go cold. I would just pick a side and go in on it. You're either going to do it the right way, and if you're not going to follow every single step, you're not going to stick to the real discipline, you're better off going all in on something and losing all of that money tomorrow or tripling it up. That's going to serve you better, because then you're going to at least fucking figure it out quicker. This little slow death, I'm not a fan of it. Does that make sense? It's like, I don't know if you've heard this. I think it was it fucking McAfee? I think it was McAfee who said it. He said, he said, like, if you smoke weed, you're better off doing heroin. You know why? Because if you do heroin, you'll fucking ruin your life faster, and then you could at least pick yourself up quicker, and then you'll at least start your life after you fail. And then you'll start doing the right thing, and then you'll start cleaning yourself up. Weed, you're going to fucking slowly, year after year, it's not going to kill you, it's not going to elevate you, it's not going to kill you, but before you know it, you're just wasting time playing this half-ass road. And that's what I think for all of you, especially with money. I agree. That's what I'm saying. If you want to do this little halfway follow the rules thing, just go fucking break all the rules and go as fast as possible. There's no point of trying to appease some of it, try to say, because you're not being wise once you break the rules. You get what I'm saying? You might as well break all of them. You might as well do it quick and do it fast, and then figure this shit out faster than not. Because even if you hit the first play, you might do the next play and hit again, and maybe you'll be like, oh fuck, maybe I should go buy a house. Or you're gonna hit it all, grow it to an amount you've never seen, and then guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna fuck it all up. And then you're gonna be like, okay, I learned it now. I get it now. While the long term just grows away. Or you're gonna do it the right way, and then you're gonna be like, yeah, it sucked for a year or two, but you know, nothing bad happened. And now I have it, and now you learned it in a real way that you did it that was actually legitimate and valid because it took time and it was built on a solid foundation. So do it fully the right way or do it fully the wrong way. Don't ever fucking mix it. Don't ever do the middle ground. And yeah, call it a day. You don't know about that one? No, that's good advice. I think you just want to break half the rules and follow half the rules and tell yourself that it's actually serving you. Let's be real. If you don't think that's good advice, then you are probably breaking half of the rules right now, following half of the other rules, and telling yourself it's okay. Like I'm saying, that's going to kill you more than the guy who fails miserably today and gets on the right road tomorrow. Do you understand that? That's how the Lord works, you don't think it's weird that the Lord hates lukewarm? The Bible will tell you this. He's not going to tell you to gamble your money, but the Bible says you're better off being hot or cold. Go hot for the Lord, follow his ways, or reject his ways completely. You know why? Because you're going to figure it out. But if you waste your time in this middle ground, you don't realize how much you're wasting the most valuable thing, your time, your life, your opportunity, your energy. You're wasting it in a confusing way. Because in your mind, you're telling yourself you're following the rules, but you're not. So, yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's the easiest thing. You just got to do it. I would rather admit I was bad for a season than pretend to be good for a lifetime. Amen. Amen. That's really what it is. That's why people don't get this, man. And that's why I said I didn't realize the danger I created. Because you guys have known, though, this whole time, anytime you've heard me trade, you guys know I be trading these cheap-ass options. Let's be real. Motherfuckers, I've been doing it from day one. A small amount of money. You get what I'm saying? It's just, I've used a small amount. I'm not playing a game where I'm like, yeah, this is my life. This is where it's going to bump. Oh, we're going to do this. This is it. They become the top. No, because if you turn a small amount into a large amount, it's a blessing. But the long term always. And you follow those rules to a T. And if you don't, that's why I said use 10% of your 10%. And if you can't trade with that, and that makes you not want to do it, you either got to fail fast or succeed 100% slowly all the way. But you got to figure it out, man. And that's why I'm like, dude, too many people mixed my shit and it don't work. That fucks you up. Why? Because now 5 years later, you're going to buy the Bitcoin at the all-time high, not get the house, and then you're going to be like, I thought I was doing the right thing. No, you were going lukewarm. You got to go one way or the other, man. You got to go one way or the other and do it fast. Don't rush and don't be hasty. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying pick point in the direction and go that way completely, because you're going to figure it out. That's what I believe in. I believe in the journey. I believe in really learning it. That's why I say I don't care if you choose right or left. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I care if you are doing it authentically and fully, because that is what's going to really teach you. And no matter what, that's going to preserve your future. You get what I'm saying? Because if you do it fully and you're not like mixing it in, that's why I say you half Republican, half Democrat, you're just confusing yourself. You're going to waste the next 5 years. You half trader, half long term, and you're trying to say you're doing the right thing and you're not following rules. I'm going to take a little of this guy, I'm going to take a little of that, and now you came up with this own Frankenstein strategy, but then you're confusing yourself. There's no real opportunity to succeed or fail. What are you going to learn from it? So, like I'm saying, if y'all on the fence about gambling money you don't need or that you need, you either only play with the shit you don't need and try to grow what you don't need, because money you need is cursed and it's going to be slow. It's going to be this, going to be that. Very simple. You either use what you can that follows the rules, or if you're not and you're going to try to, bend it and say, well, I did this right thing and we're going to do it the right way here and we're going to abandon that and then we're going to mix it in with here, you're better off gambling all of it and going all the way in. Go hard on it. You know why? Because you're going to get on the right path eventually, and you're going to get there sooner rather than wasting these next couple of months and years while opportunity is in your midst. Again, this year, that was something I wanted to highlight. That's something I think we needed, and for some, you realized it, and some of you picked up on it. And that's what I'm saying. At the beginning of this year, you were better off failing and figuring out, oh shit, that long term is going to help me out. Let me do all of that. You see what I'm saying? You were better off doing that. Figuring out where to align, what information was going to serve you better. You should have figured that out in the beginning. Because the sooner you went all in, that's why I said I had to ban some of you. I said, listen, man, go follow whoever you want. I don't take it personally. But you need to stop mixing it in. You know why? So you could see if it served you or not. And that way you could find out if it's dog shit quickly. Say, yeah, this ain't going to get me what I wanted. And get on the right path. That's what it's about. So I'm telling you, fail fast or succeed the right way fast. Just do it. Just move 100% authentically. You align with what you want to do. You don't lie to yourself. Go lie to everybody else, bro. You just don't lie to you. You don't, like you see what I'm saying? Why are you even trying to halfway do the rules, halfway not do the rules? It doesn't, like, to who? To please who? Fuck them. If you want to break the rules, break all of them. You want to follow the rules, follow all of them. And then that's it. As simple as that. You did it, you blew up your account and screwed landlord selling my house, and I doubt I can't afford it. If your landlord is selling your house, you were renting. So that doesn't make sense. And then what happened after the first blow up? You see what I'm saying? You said, I'm going to break the rules again. So guess what? You didn't fully go fast then. You might need to, then now maybe after losing your home, that might be what will get you on the right path. And I know, is that sad? It is. But guess what? I think that's better for you. That's what happened. I had to do that the other day with some chads. I had people reach out to me for help, and it was one of the hardest things I had to do because I really loved them. And I said, unfortunately, I can't help you this time. You know why? You got to fail miserably. Because you need to hit the floor so you could bounce. And if you don't know what you're all in on, then that's it. But that's what I'm saying. If you're blowing up 1, 2, 3, 4, you didn't really learn it. you're still playing the slow route. You're still playing half and half. Because the other 5 people ahead of you, they said, yeah, I blew up my account. And I said, nope, I'm going long term. They said, nope, I'm following the rules. And they did it, and now they bought a house. It's the same thing. So you got to be 100%. I don't even think you were authentic in it. You're authentic in it, you're going to figure it out quicker. You want to put it on a slow boil? Oh, it's going to be a slow boil. Yeah, I know, you guys. It sucks. That's what I'm saying. It's hard. Believe me, I don't wish failure upon any of you. I don't like seeing people fail. But even if you have a situation that you need to learn this. And it's better you learn this now than later. As weird as that may sound, you might think it's the worst moment of your life. But that's why it's like, if other stuff wasn't getting you to really go the right way, you have to go the wrong way first. Tigo energy up 20%. It's a liquid as shit. And CNC. I wanted to play CNC, but yeah. You know. Margin is enticing. So let me ask you this. The next time after you figure out your housing situation and go through this, next time you have an account, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to trade again or are you going to get a long term? That's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry you're going through that, but what are you going to do the next time you have an account? That's what I'm talking about. And that's why I'm saying I could only advise you guys in a way where I've realized you're better off going hard the wrong way or hard the right way. Because you go hard the right way, that's going to lead you to the house. That's what happened to everybody who did it. And then same thing on the reverse. You blow up your shit, you're going to keep blowing it up until you say, I'm going to do it this way. I'm talking about the next one. So unfortunately, you're going to have to go through this cycle. But again, what happens on the next one? That's the real question. I guess that wasn't supposed to be philo, but I guess it is. Europeans fume at Trump's plan to profit from frozen Russian assets. I think it's beautiful. That's what I'm saying. I think some of y'all, I hope this even go, bro. Decide. That's it. That's what I'm saying, bro. If you still half-ass breaking the rules coming into next year, just break all of them, dude. You might even get exposed to a better opportunity. But yeah, that's what I would do. Well, listen, man, I'm about to ban you too now because I asked you a question and now you're just telling me the problems and venting. I don't want to vent. What are you going to do when the next time you have an account? Genuinely and honestly. Are you going to go now? Because you got a job, it seems like. You'll bounce back. You bounce back from the first blow up. What are you going to do with the next account? That's my question. So don't tell me about your problems until you could tell me about that answer. Or I'm going to ban you. Very simple. I'm telling you, man, go hard on either direction. But if it's not changing the behavior, it's not putting you on, you're going to have to go in one route until it changes it. That's what happens. Ask anybody. Philo, why did granddaddy burp? Excuse me, I let the semi-long term burp. Wheezy short term. Nah, really, it's long. Sound like a T-Rex. under my no, okay, never mind. And the 10% stay under my seat. Yeah, there's nowhere to go there. Finally moved in, multifamily to the law term. Let's go, baby. Good work. More. You didn't hear my question? That's unfortunate. Well, good luck. Go back and watch this afterwards if you care, but I'm banning you. And I hope, you guys have noticed that though, right? You guys have noticed on the real ass questions when I'm being hella real with people and then they want something and then like, or you know what I'm saying? Or they'll be dramatic. They always stop hearing afterwards. You guys have noticed that, right? Because I need y'all to see that. Because like you've noticed it. I hope. Because that one happens a lot. That one happens a lot. I know, seriously. I think it's amazing. But I do want you guys to notice that, because again, I would usually repeat it for a lot of y'all, but nah, it's a game. And that's what I'm saying. Y'all play it. EA. So yeah, I'm not gonna deal with that, man. Especially if y'all gonna say it's a big deal in your life and I give you a direct answer. If you miss it, man, we're not doing that. Because that's just the theme. That's an odd theme. And that's what I'm saying. Y'all are clinging on to some shit. You better let go. That's what I'm saying. You know the question. What are you going to do with the next account? That goes for all of you. I think that was for somebody in here. And I hope you guys see that. That is how I will, again, even if I love you, even if you are ever in a situation like that, that's going to be your answer. Believe me, I used to bail out everybody, and all it did was wind them up in a worse position. All it winded up with was another opportunity to do the same slow burn of not really learning. You better learn to really take risk or really do it the right way. But you got to go hard and authentically. That's why I don't like the fake shit. I hope the fake shit bugs you in the same way. That's why I don't want y'all to be around fake shit. We gotta all be real, because if you get too used to being around fake shit, you're gonna start being fake with yourself. So, God bless America. Woo! It is, man. There is no discrimination. Success and failure, you think it cares? It doesn't. Don't care who you are. It don't care anything. All it cares is on what you do. Do you follow the rules or do you break them? Like I'm saying, no problem with breaking the rules. You better break all of them. That's what I'm telling you, man. It's once you get this in your mind, you're going to understand. The worst thing you could do is follow them, half of them, and not follow the other ones. Like, think about it. You get pulled over. You got a bunch of drugs in your car. You're like, but officer, I was doing the speed limit. He's good. Well, you should have broken all of them. But then again, one of them's going to get you caught either way. You break the rules, you got to understand what you're holding. And if once you play that game, bro, it's going to open those doors. And if you could at least tell me what you really want or tell yourself what you really want, you align with it. You could get everything you wanted. Anything you want is yours. But again, the time frame. And that's what I'm saying. Most people don't realize this till it's too late. And that's why going fast in either direction, you're going to learn it. At least while there's still time. Yeah, Bitcoin been down all day. Like I said, we're already coming down. The staples kind of chilled out into Philo, but yeah, this is a terrible setup. It looked good on the equal way, but like I'm saying, if this flushes, you guys, it's going to be a hideous close. Okay, so let's go to Philo now. What time is it? We gotta give it like another hour. And then I'll have a play for you. Excuse me. I had to let that out. So if you would like to hear Philo now, that wasn't Philo. Isn't that funny? That was just trading, man. That's just money. So I hope it helps somebody. Like I said, man, that's what I truly believe that. And that's why too, man, I hope you really listen, regardless of what you think of who you think it applies to. Because lately, man, some of the BS or some of the people playing games, I think it opens up a door for somebody else who really needed it. So I hope that helped. And I really hope you do make a good decision. And honestly, you got one more month in the year. You're going to have some holidays. Like, I just think about it. Like, and that's what I'm saying. And really think ahead and just be real with yourself and align with what it is, man. And you're going to be fine. But you just gotta be straight up with it and go straight in one direction or the other. And that is going to lead you at least quicker to success. Even if the first stop is failure, at least it's faster. We could do it faster. Isn't that what everybody wants? The speed anyways? Oh. So yeah, if you want to hear now some Jesus talk, you're going to have to click on the video and go there. You could all listen for free. There's the link. You just got to join and click the link. And yeah, we're going to do that while the market starts playing with everyone's emotions.